The weekend may be over, but the testing is still going on. Welcome back to Berlin and the Tempelhof Airport for the afternoon session of the Rookies Test here in Berlin for the 2025 Formula E season. Well, this morning it was Gabriel Mini who topped the timesheets. We are expecting something very similar as the green light goes on and we are underway for this afternoon session. Another 3 hours are on the clock, and at the end Omi's going to join me in the commentary box, an expert on the junior Formula drivers who's going to give us all the latest news, views and opinions on what's going on in motorsport. Right now though, let's turn our attention to Sunday and what turned out to be a World Championship deciding race. Let's join the commentary team. Alongside myself is the World Feed and Megan Birch taking you through qualifying, and then Jack Giamana and Alicia are in for the interviews. The ABB FIA Formula E World Championship roars into life here at the Berlin Tempelhof Airport. It's round 14 of the season, and once again we are delayed due to weather.
Sorry for the delay. We will start at 9:15. Track is wet, but we did our best to clean racing line using the proper heavy-duty equipment. So I wish you good luck. Just pay attention at the entry of turn 6. Maybe you need to do some runs there to help us out with drying the track there. Thank you very much.
So Marek Aniszewski there instructing the race drivers to help with track cleanup operations.
I love that. I wish you good luck.
I do like that.
When they pass the baton over to drivers.
It's down to you now, lads. Off you go. See how you get on. So that's down at turn 6, which is the hairpin, isn't it? Going into the middle sector of the lap. This corner is turn 6. You can see a fair bit of standing water. And this surface as well, of course, it is concrete, but you can see the pools of water that sit there. They don't really move, unlike you get on a tarmac track, because this surface isn't porous in particularly any way, shape or form. So you just get that water sitting there until these cars are going to dissipate it when they come through, in theory.
Should happen quite quickly within a few laps.
Yeah, we should hope so. Well, anyway, drivers then in the pit lane ready to go. Green light is about to come on, and after a 15-minute delay, we will get free practice 3 underway as 22 drivers filter out of their garage boxes into the pit lane and onto the circuit for the first time here today. Now, we're expecting, because of the rain, drivers to go out and try and set lap times pretty quickly in this session, but you can see a fair amount of spray and standing water here.
Yeah, there's a lot of spray, actually. This is more than there was in qualifying yesterday. And there's more standing water. So I think what people will try and do is do what Oliver Rowland does, is just to try and give a gap to the car ahead so that he can see as he now goes out. And you hear definitely a lot of wheel spin.
Yeah, it's coming down into turn 2, Skymaster corner. That's where the attack mode will be activated under racing conditions, and now a bit of a journey into the unknown through into turns 3 and 4. This is where we saw DaCosta and Hughes coming together towards the end of the race yesterday. Those sequence of corners actually been opened up quite a bit compared to oh, look at that. Even this is coming on what would be a straight really in the drive, but becomes a corner in the wet through turn 5 into 6 and 7, and lighting up the rear tyres as he tries to keep it on the straight and narrow.
Yeah, it looks like ice driving out there at the minute. Holding your breath, certainly, for the first few laps until that water's cleared.
You're pretty handy with off-road driving, Katie. You want to go out there and give them some tips?
Do you know, I've always thought if I was to go into a Formula E race, I'd rather it be in the wet than the dry. I feel like this is a surface that I feel like I could, you know, stick it to the drivers on more than on when they're finding the limits on the dry, for sure.
You can see it's all angles and elbows on this this formation lap, really. And again, a fair amount of standing water and spray on the racing line, off the racing line, all around the circuit at the moment, and the rain continuing to come down here in these early stages of FP3.
Yeah, I really thought we might have a dry race today.
Well,
yeah, but where?
Yeah, exactly.
Certainly not in Berlin.
The irony is, back at home in the UK, it is bright and sunny and 30 degrees. I guarantee when we go there in a fortnight's time for the finale, there's going to be some inclement weather coming in. It's just that whatever it happens to be, it seems to just follow us around in Formula E at the moment. So into turns 3 and 4, you can just see them fighting for grip and for traction. They're on their first flying laps here in this session.
Finding out where the puddles are. They're finding out where the grip is. This is more exploratory than necessarily trying to lay down a lap time.
Yeah.
And now there's a second group of cars coming out the pit lane because not everybody went out straight away. So, for example, David Beckman, Lucas de Grassi, Drugovic, Maloney, Tictum, Mortara have now just gone out onto the track for their first laps.
You can see Roland trying to get some heat in his tyres back there as well.
Yeah, he's not hanging about here, is he? Just trying to get that car into the right sort of operational window. It is going to be a bit of an uphill task. First lap time's coming in at 1 minute 19 from Mitch Evans and Nick Cassidy. That's about
24.
Yeah,
24 seconds off a dry time, and that is obviously quite significant. When they started yesterday in the wet conditions, they were at 16.
Yeah, so plenty of time for these track conditions to improve as we come around the final corner again. And across the timeline here then with Oliver Rowland, we saw him struggling with traction and grip, and indeed he is the slowest out of the 5 drivers that has set a lap time in this early stage of the session. There is Pascal Wehrlein.
Just a reminder, quali session on the wet, our main time rows were turn 9 and last corner, and both were tighter line, so turn 9 a lot tighter, turn 12, 13 a tiny bit tighter line.
There was quite different lines yesterday in the wet, and that's one thing that Mitch Evans sorted out very quickly, especially in that final corner that they were talking about there for Pascal Wehrlein, was just a little bit tighter, seems to be a little bit quicker. The wider you go, which is normally what you would think, then it didn't give as much grip as it was when it was slightly narrower. However, that was yesterday. Let's see today, because there's much more standing water.
It was interesting, wasn't it, in the race yesterday, because we had a drying track for the first time. Oh, look at Acosta there, just fighting control of the car going down into turn 6 and 7. Massive snap of oversteer, and again, just look at that standing water. And I have to say, track conditions don't look like they're improving for anything. They look like they're getting worse, to be completely honest with you, at least from that camera angle.
I think it's the spray that you're seeing at the moment. It's making it the puddles are still going to be there, and the problem is that you're accelerating round those curves, so therefore you've always got a little bit of steering angle, which means that when you've got one axle that's over the water and the other one that's not, then you tend to get a bit of a kick.
Yeah, now starting to see a few quicker lap times coming in. Dennis has just got into the 1 minute 15s, but Wemi, 10th of a second behind him there as well. Drugovic is in a full power attack mode lap in P5 as well, so let's see what he is going to be able to do in this one and how much grip the four-wheel drive and extra 350 kilowatts of power is going to be able to afford the Brazilian driver. That's some good pace actually in the early stages of qualifying yesterday, so let's see what he can do. Goes into the 1 minute 14s, a second clear of Jake Dennis, so that just goes to show the advantage as we look through the wall of spray at Pascal Wehrlein down into T2.
Oh, that was a bit wide by Wehrlein.
I think he was going for the attack mode, just doing a bit of a test there. Yeah, didn't look like it was unintentional because another driver following him through into there as well. But yeah, Wehrlein on a full power lap there as well, for that matter. I wonder if he's just exploring the.
I think he went in a bit deep.
Yeah, I think
I would like to say it was intentional, but I'm not sure it was.
No, you might have a point there. Oh, just look at the lock in the rears coming down into this one, and again
he's attacking too much at the moment. You know, he's been wide on 3 of the corners.
Yeah, Mortara following him into that turn there as well, for that matter. Yeah, track conditions suboptimal at this stage of the session. It is Felipe Drugovic that is fastest, though, with 33 minutes remaining of this session. I suppose the point is, if track conditions do worsen, the rain comes down heavier, they throw out a red flag. These lap times are going to be pretty important because it would determine the grid for qualifying later on, if indeed that was cancelled as well. So through the final corner we see for Pascal Wehrlein. He went fastest in that second sector, despite quite literally looking all at sea. Comes to the timeline, there's not going to be anything to particularly shout about there. Goes into 13th quickest, some 3.5 seconds off the pace. Let's have a look at Oliver Rowland in the Nissan then, coming down into turn 1 and turn 2, which just goes to show the lack of grip, because we saw Wehrlein going a bit deep, and Rowland also doing exactly the same thing. His teammate Sete Camara following suit as well.
Yeah, they're floating there. There's a lot of aquaplaning down into that first corner, and that's what's happening. It's on the braking point that the car is effectively lifting up off the ground and floating over there, so their retardation is significantly less, and they just can't get it stopped.
It's horrible, that feeling of aquaplaning when you're in a car and you've just got no grip at all and you know, no real control over what's happening.
Well, the thing is, normally you can handle driving in the wet because normally in a kind of normal road surface or also on tracks, you get areas with puddles and then you get areas where it clears and you get the grip, and you're always looking for those grips. As long as you're going straight through the water, you can deal with it. But here it seems to be, with this flat surface and also with the undulations in the surface, the water's just everywhere, and trying to find those little patches of grip is a real challenge. I think that's not a very nice feeling when you're out there on track.
There's a lot of decreasing radius corners here, aren't there, as well, where you're sort of braking as you're turning, especially going down into turn 2, which is why you're seeing drivers struggling with grip going into there. The rear's kind of all at sea, the car's out of balance because the weight's over the front, and that's why they're sliding so much down into Sky Master. You can see there Verline not really on an attack mode lap, but again having to make constant corrections of the steering.
But he was quickest, and so therefore that lap time put him in P1 at the moment, 13.286, so 1.3 seconds quicker than Drugovic was able to achieve earlier on. And so they are the only two people really at the front, apart from Sam Bird in 6th, that has done a full power lap.
One driver who will be loving these conditions is the man we just saw, Dan Ticktum. He's sliding his way. He's only 19th quickest at the moment in the Cooper Giro. Came home in 9th yesterday. The team actually made a few setup changes prior to the start of the race, and spoke to Alex Wee. He said, we're not really sure if it's going to work, but we're going to give it a go and see what happens. Ultimately, it wasn't quite the result that team would have been hoping for.
Yeah, as we were watching Edo Mortara on the podium yesterday, then the podium in the championship is Taylor Barnard down in 8th, but he's on a full power lap as well. Quickest first sector of everybody. That guy has got a lot of momentum at this moment in time. Superb season so far, and is now up into 3rd place in the championship after his 4th place in the race yesterday.
Yeah, if his paddock rumours are to be believed, he's off to Penske for next season. Whether that's with DS branding, we're not 100% sure at the moment. Some rumours swirling around as to whether the DS name will continue in Formula E. Will it be a different title sponsor, different partnership with the Stellantis group, as Edo Mortara goes to the top of the pile by half a second? So into the 1:12. Lap times now continuing to fall as the rain comes down. Fred Bertrand watching on, CEO and team principal of Mahindra. Steadied that ship over the last couple of seasons following tumultuous time at beginning to Gen 3. The podium that Lucas Di Grassi got was a bit of a hiding to nothing really for the rest of the season, because the team struggled with constant power unit issues throughout season 9. They regrouped, rehired, restructured over the off-season, and now they are reaping the rewards. Constant podium finishes this season on a few occasions, 2 back-to-back for Edo Mortara in Jakarta and here yesterday in Berlin. Now, what about Mitch Evans? What can he do in the Jaguar TCS racing machine? Personal best for him in Sector 1 and Sector 2. It's not going to be anything to light up the timing screens, but he improves up to 15th quickest, but that, of course, was not a full-power attack mode lap. He was still in 2-wheel drive there. Ooh, a bit close for comfort with Nico Müller down into turn 2 as well.
And Nico just finishing his lap there.
Let's have a look. You just try and pick him out through the wall of spray coming down the start-finish straight. He had a big snap, so he was out of control, wasn't he, here? And that was the previous lap to the one we just saw. Just, again, the car floating on top of the surface as the tyres struggling to clear the water. Müller 4th fastest at the moment, as Roland comes out of the pit lane once again. So opportunity knocks here for some of the drivers, I reckon, that maybe you wouldn't see featuring up the sharper end of the grid in the wet conditions. Jake Hughes in particular yesterday, Casey, in qualifying, he was pretty handy.
He was.
A few surprises.
He was, yeah, but I think also yesterday's race would be slightly different to today's race.
Oh, red flag. We've got a red flag. I presume that's down to track conditions. So race direction deeming it... No, it's Antonio Felix da Costa who's taken a wheel off.
No, the wheel's fallen off. He hasn't taken a wheel off. The wheel has fallen off there. It looks like right rear.
What is it about practice sessions this weekend with Antonio Felix da Costa having something go wrong? He got taken out by his teammate Pascal Wehrlein in practice 1, and I practiced through the rear wheels come off.
Turn 10. Everyone who has passed this car can accelerate and increase the speed more than 50 kph, please.
So the red flag's out, session
So, yeah, down at turn 9 and 10. So that's the hairpin after 6 and 7, essentially. So the second of the switchback hairpins, the left-hander at the moment. Da Costa was 21st on the order prior to that red flag, but of course he's not really in a place to get it recovered all that quickly. The upshot is it's going to be an early end for the session for Da Costa, which is not going to help his form going into qualifying. And after a disappointing end to his race yesterday following that 5-second penalty.
Which wheel was it? Rear right, copy.
So for Antonio Felix da Costa, not an end to the session, not what Tag Heuer Porsche would have wanted. And also, in practice, the clock counts down as the red flag is out. Let's have a look at what happened then. So we're coming down into turns 9 and 10. Keep an eye out on the left-hand side of your picture. He's already slowed down here, so I assume he knows something's not quite right. He's going to come into here, and the left, or the right rear wheel is just going to slide off, and he is going to come gracefully to a stop as that overtakes him.
Odd thing is I didn't see a wheel nut on it, or a wheel nut coming off. I'm not sure if my eyesight needs a bit of revision, but it looked like the wheel nut was already off by the time that he came into shot.
How bizarre. I don't think I've ever seen that. We saw a wheel come off earlier this season with Mitch Evans, but that's after he clattered the barrier back in Tokyo. For it to come off of seemingly its own accord is rather interesting.
It's also lucky that he's not, you know, that's not happened in a high-speed place, or that he's also had some warning on that, because that could have been quite a lot of damage.
Yeah, not ideal at all there for da Costa, or indeed the other drivers, as it brings an early end to da Costa's session, but also for the other drivers, they're going to lose about 3 or 4 minutes of track time here. They may add it on to the end of the session, depending on the length of the red flag. But we'll wait and see on that one, as da Costa walks back. Well, the good news is da Costa, okay, 2 thumbs up after that one. And now a bit of work to go on in the Tag Heuer Porsche camp to try and work out exactly what happened. So let's have a look. So he's had a pit stop here where he's changed over the rear tyres. Have they cross-threaded the nuts or something? Let's have a look. So wheel goes off. Wheel goes on. I want to see him coming out of pit lane, really, to see what happened. Front goes off, front goes on. Everything looks all right and pretty standard from what we could see. I wonder if we'll get a view later on in the lap as to whether the wheel nut came off or what happened there, whether it was some kind of failure of some description. It all looked pretty standard there in the pit lane from what I could see.
Yeah, you don't know the torque that actually the wheel gun was able to put onto it, so there'll be an investigation into why that exactly happened. And ultimately, the issue for him, though, is that he's out of this session right now, and he's 21st. So again, coming back to your point, weather, if it rains, if qualifying has got an issue, then he's going to be starting at the back of the grid.
Yeah, certainly so. Well, the Tag Heuer Porsche machine now being recovered on the back of the low loader after that one there for da Costa. And the good thing is he's okay, as Casey quite rightly said. It's very handy that it didn't happen at a higher speed part of the track, and that he was clearly given some warning of something being not quite right with the car. Let's have another look at what happened then, so we can see on board looking back. Keep an eye out stage left, because that wheel was about to...
Yeah, it's wobbling now already.
Yeah, he'll have known something was not quite right there. And it's just going to gracefully slide off. Let's have a listen. Metal on concrete. Never an attractive sound, is it?
One of the worst sounds in motorsports.
Yeah, but it looks like if you look at the actual spindle itself, looks like there's some damage onto that. You could see some light areas onto it. So,
well, what this does now do with this red flag period, as I was just about to mention, it gives teams an opportunity to maybe have a bit of a play around with the setup. You can see Roland's team there just making a few adjustments to the front dampers.
I think adjustment I would prefer than play around.
Can we go back on the setup stuff? On the bars, please.
So we've obviously had a chat overnight and looked at their data from the wet conditions. They wouldn't have had any running in the morning before quali, so the race from yesterday is really what they're going by for the setup today. He's tried a few laps. He's down in 18th at the minute, so we were saying earlier about getting laps in early just in case anything happens with red flags and cancelled qualies, and at the minute, in championship fight, Berline's up in second, so he'd be in a preferable place for qualifying later on today for the grid if it was to go as it sets now. So Oliver Roland's going to be coming out and needing to set some laps for that security in this session.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And he'll be hoping that the rain has eased off a little bit between when the red flag was thrown and when the session does eventually resume. We'll wait and see on that one. Hopefully the lap times will continue to count down. We'll see some further improvements. At the moment, Eder Mortara, quickest driver of the lot, ahead of Pascal Wehrlein. Stoffel van Dorn there up in 3rd position. Max Günther, he's down in 19th place, which is not where the DS Penske driver would be. if indeed qualifying did get cancelled due to the rain and the possible thunderstorms that we're expecting, this would be a very jumbled up grid order going into the E-Prix this afternoon.
Well, we had a pretty jumbled up grid order yesterday, and produced a pretty intense race at the end.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting one for the E-Prix coming into this afternoon. No pit boost for the drivers to worry about, but good to see Da Costa back into the pit box there, and just giving a quick handshake to all of his crew to show his appreciation for their efforts.
Get your cockpit undressed. Just have a look at the wheel and the thing, because it was...
That's a nice touch, actually, because...
I think it's fine. I don't look, but you know,
Yeah.
the brake disc and the brake caliper.
No, so even in the TV it was...
So, saying he thinks that the brake disc, the brake calipers are all okay.
Can you get ready?
But just trying to have a listen in there, really. Yeah, so anyway, Da Costa then, well, it looks like they're going to try and get the car back in, try and get it back out for the session. They are under investigation, by the way, the team and Da Costa, for an unsafe release.
That's automatic.
Yeah, unsurprising, obviously.
He's a great team player, though, isn't he?
Yeah,
you know, going around shaking all of his mechanics' hands. Obviously, something's happening at the pit stop. He's one that's always looking at the bigger picture, isn't he? And thanking his team, and he's in it with everyone.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you know, look at yesterday. He obviously clattered into the back of Jake Hughes, completely unintentional, but took full responsibility for the incident. Said, you know what, hold my hands up. It was my fault. I messed up, and all I've got to do is reset and go again. Again, not exactly what he would have wanted to have happened in FP3, but nonetheless, just trying to remain positive in the face of adversity as the car is recovered back to the pit lane. And, well, with a bit of luck, I thought that would be the end of his session, but hopefully they can get that repaired if it's not too big of an issue, and we will see Da Costa back out.
And so with 20 minutes to go, even though that red flag, they're not going to extend any time in this session, so there's 20 minutes to go between now and the end, and ultimately the last few laps before qualifying.
Yeah, so what have we lost? About 5 minutes of the session there and thereabouts?
7 minutes.
Yeah, about that. So it's a fair amount of time out on track, isn't it, to be losing? You see Robin Freitz, he got a bit unlucky yesterday in the race, didn't he? Finished 13th after being right up the sharp end of it. He was your hot tip.
Well, he was on the front row of the grid, and he's always very quick and difficult inclement conditions, but ultimately being competitive in the first half and then kind of got shuffled out of the points somehow in the second half of the race.
Yeah, it was an interesting second half of that race. I think the lapped cars after the safety car period.
Okay, Nico, we'll have to put the lap on 350. So as soon as you feel it's fine, you take attack and we go. But you will be the man to decide that. But we'd like to do it as soon as possible, and then we have the second one a bit later.
I suppose that's the worry, isn't it? The further it's delayed this session, obviously, the more chance there is of more weather coming in. Go out, set a fast lap time as quick as you possibly can, and secure a strong position in this session, depending on, again, as we know, what may happen for qualifying. We've just got confirmation the session will restart at 37 minutes past the hour, so just over a minute to go, and drivers will be back out on track as we look at Dan Ticktum sliding his way round. Currently 13th fastest is the British driver, the winner from Jakarta.
We're charged up for the rest of the session, so yeah, we'll go out, but then if we want to change something, yeah, free to box again and try something.
Slightly more relaxed affair there in the Cupra Kiro camp as drivers then getting themselves ready to go out on track. We look here at Maximilian Günther down in 19th position in the standings. You can see one of the strong results he had was bringing home a 1-2 finish for DS Penske in Shanghai. 2 victories he's had so far this season, but again, we're not quite sure as to whether it's going to be him or Jean-Eric Vergne staying at the Penske team for 2026 going into season 12. We understand, as I said earlier on, that Barnard is likely to end up in one of those seats, but will it be Vergne or will it be Günther who joins him alongside? Only time will tell. We're sort of waiting for the domino to fall at this silly stage of the season, aren't we, really? Rumour is that this man here, Da Costa, could be off to pastures new, possibly with Jaguar.
Waiting for that first domino to fall.
So, session then about to resume here for free practice 3. We've lost about 7 or 8 minutes of track time after a red flag following Antonio Felix Da Costa's wheel coming off of the car going down into turn 9 and 10, but with just under 18 minutes left on the clock, the green flag flies, the session does resume, and cars filter out onto the circuit. And as we heard from Nico Müller, very important to get a strong lap time in as soon as you possibly can. Just a bit of housekeeping, by the way. You're looking at the two Lola Yamaha Apt machines there of Di Grassi and Zane Maloney. They've got a special livery this weekend. They've partnered up with Superman, the film franchise, and they've got a livery on their car and also some special race suits as well. Although I have to say, I wasn't expecting to see Zane Maloney doing a Superman leap from his car in the photo shoots yesterday.
What's the link with Berlin there? Is there a Berlin link, or is it...
Well, it's being promoted quite heavily around here, so I have to say, I haven't seen the film. I wonder whether there's a part of it
well, that's what I was
maybe
thinking.
been filmed around here or something like that.
Or Lucas or Zane are actually starring in the film.
That'll be interesting, wouldn't it? Anyway, cars out on track. Only one driver remaining in the pit lane, and that is Stoffel van Dorn at the moment, so I'm not quite sure what that's about. Oh, it's Sergio Sette Camera also in the box there as well. So maybe just a couple of adjustments going on in the red flag period that they've not quite been able to get to grips with.
Looks a bit drier in the 7 or 8 minutes since the stoppage.
Yeah, I've just seen them making a bit of time. I think that's Nico Müller just trying to do a couple of burnouts there and build a bit of tyre temp.
Yeah, and also he, remember, they said you're going on a 350, and so therefore from that point of view he wants to make sure that he's got the gaps as well to be able to execute a clean 350 lap without traffic.
It's getting a bit scrappy here into the final couple of corners, isn't it? Robin Freitzer just getting done over by Taylor Barnard. Barnard also looking to put a move on. Oh, goodness me, it's all at sea here, isn't it, really, as they're trying to fight for crucial track position. You'd think this was the last couple of minutes of qualifying, given how they're out on track at the moment. But here we are in FP3, and such is the importance of this session.
Yeah, but that was a little bit scrappy, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's not exactly what Nico Müller would have been expecting, nor Robin Freitz for that matter as well. So let's see how track conditions have changed between the red flag period and the cars re-emerging out on track. There is your most recent race winner in Formula E, Mitch Evans, currently 15th quickest at the moment. He's got a nice bit of clear air in front and behind, actually, for that matter.
Yeah, he does. And there's the Porsche.
Yeah, Da Costa's car not back and ready to go out in this session. He's got his helmet on, ready to go, but he's got to wait for the all-clear, I assume, from...
Not sure how he can get back into the session once
that's what I thought.
The car's been recovered manually out of it. It should normally be sitting in a sort of park for an A state, I would assume.
Well, they've got to make sure that it's safe to go out, obviously, and, you know, have they got enough time to do that? It might be a couple of laps at the end of the session if he's given the all-clear, but yeah, would have lost a fair amount of track time. And as you said earlier on, if we do end up with this thunderstorm coming in prior to qualifying, and indeed that gets delayed, maybe cancelled, Da Costa would be 21st on the grid.
Just one thing coming back to that sort of kerfuffle at the final corner. Taylor Barnard's lap time on that previous lap and also on his flying lap are going to be cancelled due to track limits, because he was actually off the circuit as he was scrapping with someone. I'm not sure who it was in the spray.
Yeah, it was Müller. He was trying to get his elbows out on, wasn't he? Da Costa's car has now been recovered back to the box as we see Mitch Evans just going a little bit deep there down at turns 9 and 10. But they'll be just doing a couple of bits of post-mortem on that Porsche just to try and make sure it's safe to go out again. 14 minutes left to go in this one. You see a few personal best sector times coming in, and indeed faster sector times, actually, courtesy of Lucas Di Grassi. Sette Camera's under investigation for a red flag infraction as well. He was given a penalty in the race yesterday after contact. So not a particularly happy return for the Brazilian driver. Let's have a look at what happened, though, for Taylor Barnard. This is the move he was putting on Nico Müller. Was there contact between the two there?
Oh, come on, mate. This guy's almost pushed me off the track.
I don't know there. I mean, the gap's always going to close. And I mean, let's have a look at it on board. Let's take another judgment. So he's on the outside here of Robin Freitz.
This is Taylor.
Yeah, that's what he's talking about, isn't it? He's not talking about the Müller thing. He's talking about Freitz not giving him room on the outside here, isn't he?
Oh, Robin was looking in his right-hand mirror as well.
Right.
Unless his neck was getting tired and he was leaning up against the side
of the... That angle really shows it all, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, action station's going, oh, hang on, we've got a new front jackman down at Tag Heuer Porsche. His name is Antonio Felix da Costa.
You can see how frustrated he is. He's just wanting to get behind the wheel now.
He knows the importance of it, doesn't he?
Yeah.
This is he's now 22nd.
Understandably.
Yeah.
And he's a man that's, you know, I know it's a slim chance, but mathematically he's still fighting for the championship, so stuff like this really matters.
Yeah, no doubt about it. He'll be wanting to really capitalise on it as much as he possibly can.
Nico Müller locking up the rear coming into turns 9 and 10. He's popped himself up into third place so far.
Yeah.
Mortara still quickest, Verline half a second off, but Müller is the fastest of anyone since the red flag.
Yeah, timing screen's lighting up like a rental car dashboard here in the last 12 minutes of the session. Müller on an absolute flyer, fourth quickest at the moment as he comes to the timing line. This is going to send him to the top of the order, but by how much? 2 seconds over Eder Mortara. So track conditions are improving. It's definitely getting quicker, and this man here wants to try and take full advantage of it. Da Costa back in the cockpit, being strapped in as they just try
still work. They're trying to clean up the threads on the hub there. You see, as they're it was basically, if you think of it, thread and a spindle, and it looks like it's had some sort of cross threading there, and they're trying to clean it up to put a nut back on. So it's certainly no guarantee that with 11 minutes that he's going to get out.
Yeah, like I said, it could just be a couple of laps to the end of the session. Van Dorn's just popped himself up to P2 in the Maserati as well. He was pretty handy in the wet in Tokyo, if you remember. Let's see what he can do here this weekend. Jake Dennis needs a strong result to bounce back after his DNF yesterday, not getting away from the starting line. Big snap of oversteer out of turn 10. Let's see what it's like coming down into the final couple of corners. You can see a big wall of spray in front of him. That's his teammate Nico Müller that's just up the road through the final couple of corners here for Dennis. He was fastest in the second sector, comes to the timing line. Let's see what Dennis can do then. 10th quickest for him currently, and goes up to P2, just 5/100ths of a second in behind Müller.
Andretti have found something this morning then.
Yeah, they have. Looking good there for him. As Roger Griffiths just watches on. And it looks like we are going to get Da Costa back out. So all of that impatience will be rewarded, thankfully. As Oliver Rowland on a bit of a flyer here as well. He's on a full attack mode lap. You can see that with the magenta lights all around the car, coming down into the hairpin of turn 6 and 7. DS Penske just moves out of his way, gets a bit of a snap of oversteer coming into there, gathers it all up quite nicely. Thankfully, due to the wide nature of that corner, you can go a little bit deep on the first apex and gather it up for the second one.
Yeah, it's the same as this one as well. You can miss the first one as long as you get the cut back correct, and don't then run out to the wall in the wet. You don't want to be anywhere near that wall as you're trying to put the power down.
Bettman's just had the lap time deleted for track limits down at turn 12. That's coming into this corner, so presumably he's just run it a little bit too deep into there. But Rowland, personal best for him in Sector 1 and Sector 2. What will this do for the championship elect as he comes to the line? It goes to the top of the pile by 0.3 of a second. Good lap time there for Rowland, as we do see Da Costa now coming out of the pit lane and onto the circuit. Oh, he's deep down into turn 2 is Rowland there, though. Gathers it up okay, but still pretty tricky, especially in two-wheel drive.
And Maxi Günther, he's got a black and orange flag for tyre pressure infraction.
Yeah, well, I wonder if that could be a fine coming his way because it's free practice, or whether it will be a little bit more than that. It should just be a fine, we reckon, for practice there for Max Günther, if indeed he is found guilty of the crime. Barnard now currently quickest of the lot. Let's have a look at Rowland down into turn 2. Gonna have a bit of rear instability into here, I think. Oh, he's deep already, wasn't he, on the brakes?
So that looked like you, Katie, when you were floating in your Extreme E car.
Let's have a look. He was never getting into the car and then turned in. Big swapper on with all the weight over the front of it, and gathered it all up quite nicely.
I don't know whether to take that as a compliment or not.
Oh, take it as a compliment, without doubt. Well, he saved it.
True.
Yeah, a good level of car control from Rowland and from yourself, I'm sure.
Thank you. Thank you.
Here in the comms box, a very good level of control.
Appreciate that.
What about Jean-Eric Vergne then? What can the double world champion do? He comes to the line, 7th quickest. He goes in the second of the DS Penske's. Remember, he's not won a race since Hyderabad. Has had a podium finish this season, though. And that was back in Shanghai, wasn't it? Of course, the top 2 of the 1-2 finish that this team got, with Max Günther leading them home. What going on here for David Bettman's car? We saw his lap time being deleted a few minutes ago with the track limits, so What they're adjusting on the back there is the
De Grassi's locked up.
Yeah, he's in the wall.
Oh,
Big crash down at turn 1. De Grassi in the wall, unsighted by his teammate Zane Maloney at the first corner, and it's a big shunt into the barrier. It's going to bring out the red flag, and the most experienced man in Formula E will be out of this session.
That is a huge accident for De Grassi, straight into the Tech Pro barrier. That is absolutely huge. And that is at maximum velocity, just aquaplaned off. Red flag's out, De Grassi's up straight away, but the Lola Yamaha app team know that that is a big, big, big accident, and the car is actually smoking.
Fine coming up is by the time they get the car back and everything else, it's going to be pretty tight. Let's watch it again.
Yeah, let's have a look. So he's behind teammate Zane Maloney here. He's going to hit a puddle of water. He's way too fast into there in the first place.
I think something's...
Yeah, technical.
He's continued on a pace there. That doesn't look like he's just locked up. Let's watch on.
Yeah, let's have a listen. Yeah, something's not slowing down there, is it?
Yeah, the brakes are
straight to the
okay.
scene of the crash.
Big crash. Big crash.
That'll certainly be the session over. I don't think we'll resume with that, but that is
So
a
listen on
huge
board
one.
again here, just see if we can pick out anything we could. And so he's locked up, but there's a lot of speed going into there. I mean, even if you'd locked up, we've seen drivers do that and been able to slow it down.
That's...
Yeah, it's technical, isn't it, I think?
He couldn't see anything either.
No.
Yeah, but I think that was an avoidance. He was not in a position to turn. He wasn't cadence braking. He wasn't on and off the brake to try and release the locking. It's a bit early to make any full judgment, but it looked like Lucas was a bit more of a passenger in that one.
Second red flag, and that meant that Da Costa hasn't been able to get a lap time in as well. If he fell into a barrel of shoes, he'd come out wearing socks. He's had absolutely no luck in this session, has Antonio Felix da Costa, and he still sits 22nd and plumb last, some 10 seconds off of the ultimate pace that we've seen in that session. The timer, of course, continues to count down. We didn't get any added laps with that first red flag. This could be a bit of a lengthier one, so we may get a few more minutes added on to the end of this, but again, not ideal at all for da Costa.
Disaster.
Yeah, we will not be extending the session, we're just hearing. So 5 minutes to go of this session. That could be it. Yeah. That could be the order of FP2. Drivers are out of the car, and well, we saw a big incident into the barrier there for De Grassi, but also damage to the Tech Pro barrier that's going to have to be repaired. So I think it's highly unlikely we will get a resumption of this session. They may even call it sooner than before the timer runs out. What does it mean, though, in terms of the order? Well, it means that Buemi's fastest, Barnard's in second, Rowland's up into third with that great lap time he got right towards the end of the session. Muller in fourth, Gunther fifth. Bird's up in seventh place there, just behind Jake Dennis. Da Costa is absolutely furious as we saw him exiting out of the car. He's down in 22nd and last place. Teammate Pascal Wehrlein up in 13th. And we don't think the session is going to be resumed. So that will be it then. Disaster for Da Costa here on Sunday morning. Last of the lots, and through no fault of his own either.
Well, and for Porsche as well, when you're looking at it, because Pascal Wehrlein, you know, he'd have been hoping to be a lot higher than 13th at the minute. Obviously, they've got a big fight on with a really close teams championship at the minute. Oliver Rowland obviously up in third. So if worse was to happen and qualifying doesn't run later, then, you know, they're looking at quite a disadvantage heading into the race.
Let's have a look at what happened then on board here with De Grassi. He's behind Zane Maloney.
Yeah, he's got flashing steering lights there, which I presume is locking.
It's a big hit into the barrier. Thank goodness for the Tech Pros there.
Yeah, the problem, the hit for Lucas isn't so much, I don't think. I think the biggest issue for me is the fact that the wheel is going to be coming back in towards the monocoque. So the first question I would have is, how has that damaged the monocoque?
Yeah.
And also, is there any other damage into the e-motor? And there you can see his engineer, Marcus Mickelberger, just knowing how this will compromise their day.
Yeah, the team knows that that is absolutely huge. As you say, if qualifying does run, if this thunderstorm doesn't appear that we've seen on the weather radar, then there's a big question as to whether he will actually make it out for that session. There's not a lot of time between now and qualifying. When are we due to go for that one? So it's just before 10 a.m. local time here. Qualifying gets underway at 11:20. So an hour and a half to fix that. It's a tall order, even for some of the most experienced mechanics in the game. Confirmation there, the session will not be resumed. Good news is that De Grassi is out of the car and okay. Obviously frustrated following that one. Hopefully we'll get a word from him prior to qualifying and work out exactly what happened there for the Lola Yamaha app driver, but not what the team or the driver would have wanted, and not what any of the other 21 drivers would have wanted with the early end to their session after that red flag we had for Da Costa's wheel coming off as well.
Yeah, I noticed Degrassi's on his steering, he had FPK come up as a red warning just as he went into the barrier, so...
Front power unit.
Yeah.
That's MGU.
So
if that's not recuperating, then it will effectively have that same effect.
Yeah, a lot of the cars do the majority of their braking on the front, don't they? They've got brakes on the rear, but it is predominantly a front braking car. So if you're not slowing down, that's why he ended up in the barrier at such great speed. I mean, I have to say, he did good avoidance to not collect his teammates following that one there as well. So, confirmation, the session will not be resumed. We're just seeing on our timing screen that Gunther, we knew he was under investigation for that black and orange, we knew he had a black and orange flag, but he's now under investigation for that because he didn't respect it, apparently. So, yeah, that's not good at all there for Max Gunther. Could be a fine, could be something a little bit more than that. We'll wait and see. Just looking outside the commentary box, the rain looks to have eased quite significantly. Let's catch up with Nico Müller. He's P4 at the end of FP3 here.
Yeah, I didn't actually look at where they were on the... Nico Müller, very dramatic FP3 session there. Talk to us about the conditions.
Yeah, it's tricky. I mean, you know, on these different patches of concrete, basically. On some there's more standing water, on some there's a bit less, different macro, different micro roughnesses. So that's, we're actually here. Yeah, that's making life tricky because the grip changes all the time, and you try and adapt best possible. So yeah, easily you get caught out, but for us we had a pretty smooth session, so decent start to the day. Let's hope we can keep that going.
Give us a reflection of your race yesterday and what you hope to improve on today.
Yeah, we need more pace, basically. Other than that, the race was decent, came from 13s up to 8s, scored some good points, but we didn't really have the pace for more. So yeah, today we want to take the next step, and I think so far the learnings this morning have been good, so let's hope we can take that into quali.
Thanks, Nico.
Yeah, good to hear from Nico Müller. Ends the session 4th fastest in the Andretti. Just to compound the woes of Lucas Di Grassi, he would be out in Group A in qualifying, so there's even less time to get that car fixed. So Müller, 4th fastest, pretty pleased with that one. We'll see what happens as we head into qualifying. If this thunderstorm does appear, then, as we say, there is a likelihood that the qualifying session could be cancelled.
Yeah, but you say that, just stepped outside, and actually there's no rain at all. It looks clearer than I would have expected, and so I think we're probably going to be okay for the beginning of qualifying. However, I'm definitely not a weather forecaster.
Let's have a look at Lucas Di Grassi. You can see the body language there. He does not want to be talking to anybody at all after that one. No surprise there. Frustration for the Brazilian driver. See if we can have a listen in here.
Yeah, the brakes got fine from the brakes. Yeah, I think everything's good. So I think one o'clock. I cannot see. I see because it's on the take home. You cannot see. You went into the one, but it was a big one. I aquaplane on the braking. I aquaplane on the braking and then went straight. No, the dark smoke was the brakes were very hot, so the brakes put the tactical on fire. The smoke, because the wheel went inside. The brake and the tire is not the bad thing. There was no inside green light, no blue light, and no red light. So green light and the smoke is coming from the wheel.
So, braking issues then for Lucas Di Grassi. What did you ascertain from that there, Alan?
Well, first thing is that he said he thinks the chassis is damaged. And that's... But it looks more than just aquaplaning for me. He's definitely aquaplaning there, but he's not slowing down at this point.
Yeah, it's the rate of speed at which he comes in, isn't it?
Which I sort of think, oh.
Yeah, it's just, he's so fast coming into here. I don't think we see anything on the dashboard.
The water, as soon as I brake, I aquaplane, and then I lost the whole braking.
See, just before
he says he's lost the whole braking at that point.
So as soon as he brakes, he aquaplanes, and then it's all gone.
Tracking of the position, and there is only one line there, so I got water at the beginning of the brake. So, sorry for that.
Lucas is suggesting it's maybe a little bit more on his end than necessarily a technical failure. Didn't have to say it didn't look like that to me, but whichever way, it's quite a lot of damage to the car, as he's noted. The wheel coming into the monocoque is the biggest risk for qualifying, because if they have to change a monocoque, then, you know, it takes a significant amount of time.
Yeah.
And the first thing I would be doing if I was the team is actually getting the monocoque prepared already, just in case. You know, you don't want to lose any extra time.
Right, so about to get underway for the qualifying session here in Berlin. It's looking decent weather, and also I'm getting terrible feedback on my end for some reason. And that car is very dismantled right now. It's decent weather at the moment. The track still seems quite wet in my opinion, but everything looks okay. Group A is about to begin. It's just hit the green flag. And I actually don't know why this sounds so strange through my headset. So I'm going to throw it over to TNT while I try and figure this out.
As we head into qualifying today.
More of the same. More very interesting weekend. Obviously very affected by the weather. Normally here in Berlin this time of year it's super hot and difficult for the tyres on the circuit. However, we've got a very, very different weather condition and people finding it that it works for them. Oliver Rowland.
The scenario would be 1 to go out and 5 from the first push lap.
So good to hear there from Oliver Rowland saying go out and then sort of third push lap is what he's expecting. So just a little bit of housekeeping about the drivers that are out in this group. You've got the two Nissans, so Oliver Rowland and Norman Natto's replacement Sergio Sette Camara is out. So you've got the two DS Penske's, Max Günther and Jean-Eric Vergne, the two Maseratis as well as James Hughes and Stoffel Van Dorn as well. We should have had the two Lola Yamaha apps, but of course we do not have Lucas de Grassi's. His car is still in a state of repair. And as I said, the top 4 drivers will be going through and into those dual stages. Billy, you can see the track. It looks pretty dry in certain points, but there's still a little bit of standing water on the racing line.
Right, I'm going to take over yet again now. Ooh, almost just knocked Joshua's headset. Going to go to the qualifying screen. Hello. Gone for a red theme today. Maybe a red car will win. Either that or in MotoGP I must be rooting for a Ducati. Right, so the track conditions. There is dry lines starting to appear throughout the track, but as they mentioned, there still are areas where there is a bit too much standing water. We can see a little bit here of Rowland going a little bit too close to the wall for what I would like. In Group A for the qualifying, there is Rowland, Barnard, Ticktum, Gunther, Vergne, Dennis, Van Dorn, Hughes, de Grassi, Maloney and Sette Camara. Those are all in Group 1, and something I've just realised is that the fact that Joshua mentioned to me yesterday that we don't actually have any black ink for the printer, so I don't have the notes I would usually write down for this, which I suppose does give me a little bit more easier time in trying to figure out certain things, but also it's a little bit more complicated. Right, so currently top of the screen is Vergne, but he only one actually set a full time as of yet, and I really need to speak to Joshua about what's going. That's a little bit better. I think it's their cameras. That's the reason I'm getting such strange noises coming through, because it's not sounding as it usually would. And finally, all the times are coming out onto the screen now. Currently top of the board is Rowland, Maloney, Sette Camara, Barnard, and then out of the top 4 is Vergne, Van Dorn, Dennis, Hughes and Gunther. And I think the only one not to set something so far is de Grassi, because he is still in the pit lane for some reason. I wonder if he has some sort of... Oh, of course he has some problem. He crashed and basically burnt his car. So he's going to be last either way. I wonder if... Do they have a second car, I wonder? I do not know. So, 8 minutes left to go of Group 1. Do you know what? I think I prefer commentating on Formula E in one of the other commentary boxes, because I get so much more, like, It's so much nicer volume control for that. I'll have to talk to Joshua about what's going on with this volume. But I can't right now because he is in the middle of one of the motorbike series. I think it might be Moto 3. I am not sure because I have not checked yet. Right, so Van Dorn's top the session now with a... Hold on, where is he? With a 105.553. I think that's going to get taken over in a minute, though. So going into second, that is Tictum with a... Oh, where is he? Oh, I think he might get his time deleted from him because that's not showing up the correct thing. Yeah, there it is. Tictum has just gone down a lot. At least on this screen. I don't know about this screen. Right, so Byrne goes top of the board with a 104.939. Currently on board with Dennis, who's about 1.4 seconds behind. So not too great. Hitting a little bit too much of the wet areas of the track, I've noticed. Dennis is currently looking at Tictum. Seems to have found... Oh, there, hitting a patch of wet. That's going to definitely slow time down a little bit. The order now for the top four is Van Dorn, Gunther, Verne and Hughes. Basically, if you're in either of their teams, then you're through. But at least right now you are. Right, I'm going to throw back over. Oh, throw after Verne finishes his lap because it was a purple. Here's Verne, actually.
Okay to push again. Okay to push again.
Okay, what's that about? Okay to push again. He's literally on sector 3 and's got a green now, but a purple sector 2. I hope he was meaning the next lap, otherwise he's really not paying attention to where he is. Right, Tictum has gone top of the board now with a 103.622, and that is my cue to throw over for a couple of minutes to Tintin.
A second. Yeah, Taylor Barnard, 10th place for him on the grid yesterday, just popped himself up into third quickest. Hughes also making some improvements, seems to go quite well around here in that Maserati. As we look at Tictum, he's gone personal best in Sector 1, fastest overall, though, in Sector 2. So that's a handy bit of driving there from the Briton, right up against the wall on the exit of the final corner. Comes to the timing line. Does he go fastest overall? He does, by nearly 0.3 of a second.
I'm interested to see, Tom, what the teams do with their strategy in qualifying, because yesterday, when it was full wet weather conditions, we just saw continuous improvement and just lap on lap, pushing. But where it's getting a bit drier now, you don't want to overcook these tyres, Alan.
Yeah, I think they're going to do, sort of 2 push laps and then a cool lap to try and cool the tyre down and go again. But they've got to be very careful on that cool lap. They don't get then shuffled back to your point to ensure that they get the last lap, Dennis.
That's purple turn 6. Just keep it up.
So words of encouragement from Sean McGill, race engineer there for Jake Dennis as he comes across the timeline, goes to the top of the order by 10th of a second. What about Oliver Rowland? Hasn't really had much of a starring role in this set. He's on a build lap at the moment, isn't he? So starting on a push lap, but look at the rear instability even down to that first corner. Probably gives you an idea of how bumpy it is on this circuit. It's concrete and it's made up of different joins, and you can see how much the car was pattering going into the braking zone.
Yeah, but the car looks a bit loose on entry. He floated it in there, okay, that's a little bit Oliver Rowland style, but it doesn't look like it's hooked up underneath him.
Tictum up to P3 as well, so good lap time there for Tictum. Rear instability there for Rowland as he tries to get the car rotated down into the hairpin. This is the first apex, that's okay because you can cut it back for the second one. Who's that that's just up the road from Rowland? It's the 27, so that's Jake Dennis, isn't it, in the Andretti. It's not too far ahead of him. Dennis at the moment is on an okay lap, but he's on a sort of build lap at the moment. We just had a note on the timing screen, Andretti under investigation for not setting a time in the first 6 minutes, given the car has got no wheels on the wagon and is a fair old state of repair. That's no surprise at all. As we look at Gunther then coming up into P3 now. What about Oliver Rowland? It's been a bit of a messy lap for him so far, but he goes up to 4th quickest. Still 0.3 of a second away, though. And given the rate of improvement we're seeing, I think you're exactly right here, Billy. We're going to see last drivers across the line potentially being the quickest.
And the times are definitely coming down. We're into the 1-minute 2s now, and bearing in mind, in 300 kilowatts, I believe the 58s, high 58s, has been the fastest we've seen in this power mode. So we are now only about 3 seconds away from where they were in FP1.
Yeah, but the thing is, this man, Oliver Rowland's still stuck down there in 6, so if it finishes like this, if he doesn't pull a little bit more out of the bag, then he's not going to make it through to the dual stages.
Just to remind you, in terms of the Drivers' Championship, to secure that today, he needs to outscore his rivals by 8 points. He's got a 50-point advantage, needs to be at least 58 in front at the end of this weekend. And if he gets pole position here today, that's an extra 3 points, so only 5 going into the race. But at the moment, it's looking like a bit of a tall order. He's
Right, so I'm going to take yet again. Right, so currently the standings look like Vandal, Rowland, Gunther and Hughes all in at the top 4 and would look to go through to the duels. But in 5th is Maloney, 6th is Dennis, Vernis 7th, 8th is Seto Camera, Ticton is 9th and 10th is Barnard. Okay, so Barnard has somehow just managed to go into 2nd all the way from the bottom. Where's he been hiding that speed? 2 minutes left to go of this session, and that is Ticton going up into 3rd. Apparently, if you're in 10th, you're going up into the duels now, so let's watch out for Sete Kamara, who's currently in 10th. I swear, if he goes up into 10th, I will be so impressed. Goes up from 10th, I will be so impressed right now. Currently looking at Hughes, who has a green Sector 1, so looking a decent time, but what can his Sector 2 time be? I do not know. Go back to go into Sector 3, and it's a purple Sector 2. Only 4/400ths off the pace, and ooh, could that be counted as impeding between Hughes and another part of the track? Hold on, Hughes is number 55. Who did he go past? Do you know what? I genuinely do not know, because this screen is not telling me. Apparently he's alone on the track. He's not. Yellow flag out on the track. Oh, that's why he's alone on the track. He's crashed. I'm going to guess it's him. A minute left to go of the session, and there's a yellow flag out on the track. Red flag! That's Hughes. Yeah, I was right. It's Hughes. He's gone into the side. Why does he look like the actor who played Voldemort? He looks very similar to him. I'm talking about like the race engineer or manager. I don't know exactly who he is. But Hughes has crashed into the barrier, messed up his 2 front wheels. So red flag is currently out. Session stopped at 54 seconds left to go. I mean, can't you just call it at this point? It's 54 seconds left to go. And he's literally right next to... Okay, here's Hughes.
Oh man, I had nothing. No brakes, just...
Did you manage to slow down a bit before the contact or not?
Well,
and he has broken the tyre barrier, or the barrier, whatever it is. Either way, it's broken. And there's like stuff coming out of it now, and there's massive clouds coming over. There's also a patch of blue sky. That's something. Here's a replay. Might rain soon. Okay, so it kind of catches the side and then just goes straight into the barrier. Obviously, he said he had no brakes from an off-point angle. Yeah, he just has absolutely no brakes and then ends up just crashing into one part of the barrier, and then it spins him to the other side. Here's an onboard. So you can see him trying to brake at this point, but he can't. Goes straight on, hits that barrier, tries his best to turn, and then that causes him to crash directly into the secondary barrier. What corner is that at? That is around turn 12, I believe. Yeah, and there's massive dark clouds coming out onto the circuit. Roland. I don't know what that was. I think he accidentally pressed a button, because that was not anything. I do not know what is happening, though session stopped at 54 seconds to go, which, honestly, I would just say, just end Group A here. There is no point in going out for a further run because none of them will be able to actually do a proper run in time. Here's Roland again.
Make sure you are on that like a car bonnet. Already on it, mate.
I still did not understand that. I thought I heard the word car bonnet. And they've gotten rid of the screens for this, like the timing screens. So I will give you a quick rundown now that we're in a red flag period. Also, you can't see me when I go to check the things, so I generally think this needs to be moved again. Every time me and Joshua come in here, this is moved slightly to that side. Hughes is getting out of the car now. Hughes is perfectly fine. I think he's just a little bit frustrated with himself. He is in second position though, so ooh. If he's in second position, Hughes under investigation for causing a red flag. I mean, if you want to put the brakes under investigation, sure, go ahead. But he had no choice in this matter. I never understand why people investigate the people who cause the red flags. Just like, I'm sorry, they didn't want to crash either. They didn't want to cause the red. Right, so currently in top... Oh! And Hughes has had his time deleted, which is annoying because he was in second. Qualifying Group A session will not restart. Obviously, that is a good choice at the end of the day. And Hughes has been dropped down into sixth, and Roland is now been put up into fourth position as a result. So Van Dorn in first, second is Barnard, third is Ticktum, and Roland is in fourth. And they will go through to the duels after Group B. Out of contention for the duels is in fifth, Gunther. Hughes is in sixth, obviously because Hughes just crashed his car. Maloney is in seventh, eighth is Dennis, Verne is ninth, 10th is Seto Camera, and Degrassi did not start because his car is a little bit too charred. So I will pass over to TNT during this waiting period, given the fact that red flag is still out and they need to get the car out of the way. That shouldn't take too long though, because they are near a marshal point. Fastest lap time, yeah, notification here that it will be deleted because obviously he won't be able to take part in the duels in time. So I will pass over now to TNT.
This session, unfortunately. Right, over to Group B qualifying then, as the green light is on at the end of pit lane, and 11 more drivers filter out for the 12-minute session onto the circuit. So, Pascal Wehrlein, Antonio Felix da Costa for Tag Heuer Porsche. You've got the two Envisions in this one of Freund and Buemi, the two Jaguars of Cassidy, and yesterday's race winner Mitch Evans. You've got Felipe Drugovic in there as well, the substitute for Nick de Vries here this weekend, and the track continuing to dry, those wet spots getting smaller and smaller as time continues on, which is great news for the drivers out on track, and hopefully means that the lap times will continue to fall in the same direction as well.
And the two Envisions are the last two cars to go out, Robin Freins and now Sebastian Buemi, so everybody's out onto circuit. They're looking clearly to be dropped off the back and to have a clean run without all this traffic sort of build up and the fighting for position, so that they can start their lap focusing and ensuring the tyres and the brakes are at optimum temperatures.
So it's interesting here going out of turn 6 and 7 in towards turn 9 there, because that line looks quite wide actually going into the first hairpin, and it really narrows down, doesn't it, how dry it is going into the next hairpin.
That's the thing, I think a lot of it is making sure that you actually...
Right, I'm gonna take over again briefly. And, oh,
It's looking pretty dry.
Yeah, it is looking dry now, but there is a massive cloud coming overhead, so I'm not too sure how long that will stay that way. But lap times currently have not started yet, currently on their first run round. In Group B, we have Cassidy, Wehrlein, da Costa, Mortara, Buemi, Muller, Bird, Freins, Beckman, and Drugovic. Is that how you say it? And Wehrlein?
Next lap, so let him by, you should So if
Oh, I didn't realise that they actually write it down as well. Like with what F1 do, the others. They need it bigger for writing. Right, so currently Cassidy is top of the board, so he'll probably go passing the line first. Lap times have not been set yet. They all seem quite faster on their opening lap though. So that is something. And purple sectors 1 and 2 for Cassidy right now. So best keep an eye on him. Just going to increase this just that little bit more. Right, so times are now coming out onto the thing. Cassidy has gone into the pit lane because he has done a 1:00.398. A lot faster than what Group A were. Okay, and... Okay, no, that was Evans. Oh, Verline.
gap 2 behind is currently 4 seconds to Mortara. Just keep bringing your tires in.
Okay, so be careful of the tyres. Okay. Maybe I will turn this down a bit. Because you can still hear them, kind of. Right, so Evans, top of the board right now with a 1:00.3898. Muller is second with a 1:00.461. Frines is third with a 1:00.522. Buemi is fourth with a 1:00.568. The Costa is fifth, sixth is Cassidy, Bird is seventh, Beckman is eighth, Drugovic is ninth, 10th is Mortara, and Verline is in 11th. Very unusual for Verline to be so far behind, though Cassidy has now entered the pits as well as Evans. So both of them are deciding that. Ooh, I bet they've seen that cloud and are thinking, I need to go get more information. Also, they've both done quite decent times. Cassidy could use coming out again. Though I'm just going to check the weather radar and pass you back over to them for a little bit.
Fastest of them, Mitch Evans on a 59.7. The same power mode that we've got right now, where they're currently down to a 1:00.3. Seems like, compared to FP1, the lap times are going to be very close to where we were there.
Yeah, I wonder how much of an improvement the drivers will be able to make in the closing stages. We're into the 59s now, first of all, with Antonio Da Costa, 59.8, so right on cue. He is right on the pace, so that's good news there for Da Costa. Bird also making an improvement, not quite breaking the 1 minute barrier. Felipe Drugovic, though, on an absolute flyer. His first race in a single-seater car since 2022. As Drugovic goes over the line and goes into fourth position. Mortara's improved up to second place, just in front of him there as well. So the two Mahindras looking pretty handy. They were on pole position last year here with Eder Mortara, and Mortara was on the podium here yesterday as well. So that car is looking pretty good around the Tempelhof track.
Got an Envision 1-2 now. Robin Frines and Sebastian Buemi have gone to the top of the timing sheets.
59.7, 59.8, 59.8, 59.9 for the top four. Super tight. But this is the first real attack lap by Pascal Verline. He's currently sitting down in 11th because he's been doing these build preparation laps as opposed to going out and nailing it straight away.
Both the Jags in the pit lane, Evans and Cassidy at the moment. What do you think that's all about, Billy?
Maybe just the strategy for the session. We've got 6 minutes still on the clock, so they might just be biding their time, thinking that there will be some track evolution, so that they've got their tyres at the freshest point for when the track's at its fastest. So Sam Bird goes fastest now.
Yeah, good lap time there from Sam Bird. The risk, of course, with that is exactly what we saw in Group A. You go out and try and set a quick lap time, and then you get balked with a red flag. Cassidy now back out on track. Muller has come into the box there for Andretti. Verline makes an improvement, but it's only enough for sixth quickest as the sun finally shines over this circuit for the first time this weekend.
Yeah, 6th and 7th for the two Porsches, not quite what they would like in that first attacked run.
Well, Antonio finished Da Costa, currently the quicker of the two Tag Heuer Porsches. Verline 50 points adrift of Oliver Rowland in the championship. Needs a strong result here today. The 3 points that you could get for pole position would be critical to keep his championship hopes alive here this afternoon. 58 points is the advantage that Rowland needs to be crowned world champion, just to remind you. Da Costa over the wet part of the track into that triple apex left-hander. All of the lateral load on the outside part of the tyres.
This is a quicker lap by Da Costa.
Yeah, he's looking good here, isn't he? As he comes to the timeline, where's he going to go? It's top of the pile by 3/100ths of a second. So Da Costa makes a good improvement. The Tag Heuer Porsche now starting to come in to the right window that we were expecting.
Verline's not on an attack lap. He's on a cool lap at this moment in time with 5 minutes to go.
I lose the rear in turn 4 like hell. I can't touch the brake.
That's a change of direction. Turn 3's a left, and then you go immediately into a right-hand 90-degree turn 4. And in that change of direction, that's where the stability of that Envision isn't quite what Sebastian Buemi wants or needs.
So at the moment, it's Da Costa, Mortara, Bird and Freitz, the top 4 that have gone through. Freitz has gone into the pit lane here quite late on, so he's decided to come in, and as well as his teammate Sebastian Buemi. So maybe they're trying for a sort of Dan-Dare last one flying lap at the end of this session.
Yeah, maybe some adjustments to tyre pressures, get them back in the right window with that. As we got Pascal Wehrlein, who's gone fastest of anyone in the first sector. So are Porsche showing their hand now?
He's 10th and a half up, isn't he, here as well? He's looking pretty good now, a further 2 tenths, nearly 3 tenths up in that second sector. So Wehrlein on an absolute flyer. Bird goes over the line, improves in the final sector, stays third quickest at the moment, but the man at the moment is this driver, Pascal Wehrlein, reigning world champion, is going to come to the timing line. And where does he go? It's the top of the mile by 4 tenths of a second. Wow. That's an absolute fortune's worth of time.
On a lap that's less than a minute as well, to have that sort of advantage. That is a huge lap from Pascal Wehrlein, who was also fastest in free practice 1 in dry conditions. So he has looked strong when it's been dry.
That's a punchy lap, but also the circuit will be getting a little bit quicker as well. So the 4 tenths of advantage, I would assume, is going to naturally come down a little bit when everybody does their final laps. On board with Da Costa, his teammate now.
Beckman's just improved as well. He's gone up to P5. Freitz and Buemi now currently out. They were top 2 a few moments ago as Da Costa has a bit of a slip on the rear coming into the left-hander, the triple apex final couple of corners. As we come to the timeline then for Da Costa, can it be an improvement? I think it might be just in terms of time. It is, but he stays second quickest for now, just cementing P2. What about Edo Mortara then in the Mahindra? They're starting to now build themselves up for this final attack of the circuit. No one's really lighting the timing screens up in particular at the moment. A few personal best sector times coming in, but nothing that's going purple right now.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a disappointing lap there by Cassidy, as now he's going to sort of back off and then have a final push lap. Evans as well. Now both those guys are, well, Evans just popped himself up into 9th and Cassidy in 10th.
Yeah, but look at the gaps though. It's, what, 4 tenths of a second? That's quite a lot of time around a lap as short as this, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 4 tenths to the cutoff, but actually to Pascal Wehrlein, it's nearly a second. It's 9 tenths, so that is a huge margin. But this is that lull period that we saw in Group A right now, where the drivers are setting themselves up for the final laps. But crucially, red flags interrupted Group A.
Okay, so I'm going to take over for a little bit again, just in case we have... Oh, and Wehrlein.
Okay, cool down, that's P1, 4 tenths clear. P1, 4 tenths clear, fastest all sectors.
Okay, so I have just noticed something. So, Wehrlein, top of the board currently with a 59.048. Very quick, less than a minute. Da Costa is second with a 59.353. Mortara is third with a 59.506. Bird is fourth with 59.519. Beckman, Drugovic, Freitz, Buemi, Muller, Evans and Cassidy. That is the order who are out of the contention at the moment. Still a minute and a half left to go, though everyone seems to be going a lot faster in this group than they were going in Group A, because all this lot, every single one of them have managed to reach less than a minute in their timings. Let's hope there's not any more troubles with the brakes from any of the drivers. Minute left to go of the session now, and we're getting to see some decent laps appear. Da Costa about 3 tenths down on the time that he should have been. Not the greatest lap for him if he wants to get first position, but he is in second, so that's a little bit better for him. Right, so currently on board with Drugovic, trying to manoeuvre around the really tight corners, because I think that's one of the areas where there's still a little bit of water. I'm not quite sure. I think there is. Buemi is currently in 9th on board with him. Done a green sector 1, but sector 2 isn't that great to think about, and I'm hoping that cloud might just pass by and not really be an issue. It is drizzling around that area apparently, so let's hope the drizzle misses them. Right, so I think that was, yeah, it was Muller going third just then with 59.441, but Shakard is out with, okay, so DaCosta has met that, stays second position. Drugovic has met that, stays 8th. Mortara stays 4th. Cassidy stays 9th. No one seems to be improving at all out there on the circuit. Only one person is in the pit, and that is Bird, so he's definitely not going to improve. It says he's still in the pits, and yet he's clearly there. I don't know what that's about. Verline stays first. Frines stays 3rd. Beckman goes 6th, but then immediately gets taken over and put into 7th because Evans goes at 5th. And it says here that Bird is in here as well. Everyone crosses the line, including Muller now. Verline finishes in 1st with a 59.048. DaCosta in 2nd with a 59.353. Frines in 3rd with 59.382. Muller is in 4th with 59.441. Those 4 will go through into the duels, along with the 4 from Group A. Out of contention for the duels are Evans, Mortara, Beckman, Bird, Buemi, Drugovic and Cassidy. And yes, that is the order that they went in the order. And Cassidy was slowest, as I've just overheard them say. Verline.
So that's P1 and Antonio P2. That's now confirmed.
Great day for their team, I tell you. But I am going to pass over now to TNT. Also, I wonder whether... I can hear them perfectly in my ear. I wonder whether you lot can, but here is TNT.
Plan there from Porsche to take their time.
Actually, do you know what? No, they're going to play lots of music. Actually, no, what do you know?
Yeah, and Pascal Verlaine really looked after those tyres in the early laps. Plenty of building that temperature up nice and slowly, not to cook the surface of the tyre and get the car sliding around. And their car, Porsche, definitely looked more stable as a result, potentially, of how they've brought their tyres in. We know how important they are in Formula E.
Right, so, and 80% say that Barnard will win. I've taken over again. Against Ticktum. Though also, given the fact that it is starting to drizzle, that does make me think that it will definitely start to rain a bit more. Though it could have just been that brief little moment, and it could have just passed. So, I don't know. Ticktum radio already.
Make sure you stop at the last red light, not a repeater.
Yeah, got it. Should I go rearwards on bias just in case I lock fronts? I'm just a bit worried I'm going to note it.
Yeah, I think get a little read in the last hairpin and see if you need to react.
Long radio.
So we now go...
That was such a long radio that Barnard has already exited the pit lane. But I suppose... I feel like there's nerves going on for Ticktum right now. For many reasons. Especially because of the inconsistent weather conditions that they have been going through. And I don't really think they've really managed to have like properly dry sessions this weekend so far. Though I'm not sure. Every session I've heard of this weekend for them has been raining constantly. So just waiting until it comes up with that line to tell me how far away from each other they are. But I think we're about to cross that line in a moment's time. Well, at least they should be. I'm getting 0 data. There we are. There is the data that I need. So currently they are level. Ticktum has crossed the line and Barnard is about to now, I believe. Yep, now. And so far Ticktum is about 900 thousandths ahead of Barnard. So, ooh, 66 thousandths of a second ahead of Barnard. I wonder if, for once, those predictions will be wrong and it will be Ticktum who wins. Now a whole 10th down on what Ticktum is doing. Barnard is struggling to keep up. And I wonder if he can make anything back in the second sector. About to head into that now. And no, he actually loses about a 10.5 time to Tictum. Tictum is going to cross the line in... Oh. What? Okay. Oh, okay. It's staying a completely different group of people there. They're not even out of the circuit yet. So Tictum wins with... Do you know what? It was a 59-second lap. That's all I managed to see, given the fact that this timing screen has decided to play future. Right, so Tictum wins the first set of duels against Barnard. Contrary to what the vote thought he would do, here's a replay. Here's Tictum.
Right.
Yeah, well done. You're through. 6 tenths. Great lap. Remember, break 1 up.
I don't know what's going on with my timing screen either, because that is that's not right. And it's not even ahead. It's not even ahead of what the time is. It's just wrong. Right, here we are. So Roland has crossed the line to start the lap, and Van Dorn is about to do that now. And Roland seems to be a little bit behind of what Van Dorn's doing right now. A little bit of a... Oh, that was a little bit of a messy corner there from Van Dorn. And a little bit too close to the wall there, so he might lose a tiny little bit of time. Yeah, he has. He's lost about 0.06 of a second from those little mistakes. And see Roland going round. Oh, and he makes a mistake of his own. That could lose him about a 1/10 of a second, maybe. Let's see how it goes. Oh, no, it's actually gained him a little bit more time. So, oh. Van Dorn seems to be really, really slow around all the corners. So I think this might go the way of Roland. 2.5 of a second faster than what Van Dorn is doing. Though he is catching, he's just gone down and made it 0.2 of a second difference between the two of them. Although that's then increased to 3.5 difference with Roland in the lead. And it's Roland wins by 3.5 of a second. Van Dorn was just catching all of the wrong areas and so many mistakes during that round. Oh, that was a shame. So Roland wins his round of duels between him and Van Dorn. Van Dorn really needs to watch out for those mistakes during the race because he was going far too slowly around the corners. Here's Roland now. Very quick and short message. I didn't even catch what it said. Up now are Frines and Da Costa against each other. 82% say that Frines will be the winner, but then again, it's not always right. I mean, it wasn't right today. So, let's get this duel underway. Frines is already out and about to cross the line now to start his lap. Very... Or are they just starting a lap? I don't know. I think they're sending them out before they actually finish the lap. The others finish the lap. And that's causing the timing screen to think it's the next lap already. That's not a very good way of doing things. Da Costa currently is about a 10th ahead of what Frines is doing. So already predictions are wrong. But then Frines has just caught by about 0.7 of a second. No, not 0.7 of a second, 0.07 of a second. And you can see both their teams really worried about this. Don't be worried. They're going to start near the start of the grid anyway. So, Da Costa and Frines are increasingly close right now. There's about a 300th second difference between them. That's increased about 700ths now, 10th between them, and Da Costa is in the lead of the two of them. Little bits of mistakes coming there from Frines. Oh, almost hit the wall, Frines did round one of those corners. Obviously, he overestimated how much room he actually had. And Frines manages to get the win between no, not Frines. Da Costa managed to get the win between them. I was looking at Frines, so my mind was like, Frines. Right, up next in the Jules is Muller and Verline. Obviously, they're already out for some reason, so I can't actually properly see what things were. I don't know what's going on. Why are they sending them out before they actually need to be sent out? It's not. It can't even be because they're running behind. They literally had to cut a session short. Right, so they're out on the track right now. And the vote was wrong again. But only 5% say that Muller will win against Verline, which is weird since I think the only times they've done a head-to-head, Muller won. That's very brave odds. I mean, 1-1, I guess, if Verline wins. But, okay. What will their times be? I'm just a floating head when I sit down. I'm going to have to fix that later. Right, so Verline is already about 100th ahead. Now a 10th ahead of what Muller is doing. I could really use a drink right now. 2/10 ahead. Now Verline is against Muller. Going into the second sector now. Both seeming to do increasingly well. I've just overheard that it's one of their first dual appearances. That's wrong. They've already gone head-to-head. At least I believe they have. Must be talking about this season. Well, yeah, season. So, Verline is about 5/10 ahead of what Muller is right now. Can he manage to keep a hold of that lead? I don't know coming into final sector. I mean, the time is increasing all the time. 6/10 of the difference between Muller and Verline manages to win the duel. Very good from Verline, especially given I could have sworn I saw him last earlier on the grid. Obviously, he moved up into one of the 4th positions, but still, it did worry me a bit. Right, so that is the first round of duels done. Then going into the next round, which is the semi-finals. I'm going to pass over to... Actually, do I have enough time to pass over to TNT? I do not know. I hope I do. So I'm going to pass over now just in case.
They will be absolutely critical to close the deficit down to Oliver Rowland in the Drivers' Championship and keep his hopes alive for another day.
Tom, I'm getting ahead of myself here. I'm already looking to the potential final that we could see here with Oliver Rowland and Pascal Verline potentially could line up in a final against each other.
First up for the semi-final duels, it is Rowland and Ticktum, and I hope that the screen does not do that weird thing again. And for some reason it's saying that the others may enter the fast lane now. I hope they don't. Stay in the fast lane. Actually, no, don't stay. Stay in your pit lane. That's what I meant. Right. So, Ticktum and Rowland are about to start their proper lap where they can battle everything out, just warming up their tyres on what now seems to be a dry circuit, which is probably one of the few times during this weekend, or possibly even the first time, that they've actually managed to get a dry run out there. I mean, hopefully the rain has stopped now for the rest of the day. I mean, I know it does kind of bring exciting races, but I really think there's been enough rain. Right, so currently Ticktum is doing better than Rowland by about 25 thousandths of a second. But now that's gone down to 3 thousandths of a second, with Rowland improving better. Quite similar times between them. They have quite a similar pace, an identical pace around the circuit. And I'm really curious to how this will go. Ticktum manages to get about a 10th ahead of what Rowland is currently doing, and it's done that thing again. They're not even finished for lap time yet. Rowland is catching, now down to 76 thousandths of a second difference between him and Ticktum. Ticktum still in the lead by that much, however, about to cross the line. Ticktum goes about a 10th faster. then Roland, and Roland cannot catch up enough. So Tictum ends up winning this semi-final duels, meaning he will go through into the final and onto the front row of the grid later on in the race. At least I presume that's it. Next up for the semi-final duels, it will be between DaCosta and Verline. Aren't they the same team? Or at least very similar teams? I do not... Yeah, they are the same team. So teammates going up against each other now, which will be an interesting one because then we're seeing the same car go around the same track in the same conditions, see which one is better. Also, I don't know why, but DaCosta and Buemi always remind me a bit of each other. Just a little fact there. I think they have similar noses. That's what it is. That's why my mind always thinks they look quite similar. Right, so they've headed out on to the track now. And let's see. Also, if anyone is putting stuff in the chat, I don't actually have the chat like open with me because Joshua has his laptop because he is currently covering, I think it's World Superbikes that he's covering now. So, ooh, Verline's already flying ahead of what DaCosta's doing, and I bet his team feels so like conflicted at the moment, just like, which one do we root for? Verline is about 0.2 of a second ahead of what DaCosta is doing currently. Now he is catching slowly. 2.5 now the gap between them. Though DaCosta, if he just manages to get a little bit faster, and if Verline manages to make a mistake, which he's not going to, given that Verline has just gone up to 4.5 thousandths of a second. No, not thousandths, tenths of a second. Gone up now to 6.5 tenths of a second faster than what DaCosta is doing. Verline's got this one in the bag, unless he crashes out right now. He's won at this duel. And Verline wins the duel between him and his teammate of DaCosta, meaning that he will go into the final alongside Tictum and go on to the front row of the grid for the race later on. I wonder which one will win. I have a feeling Verline might get the lead, but honestly, Tictum has been looking so dominant today. Verline.
Against Tictum in the final, against Tictum in the final.
Over to the finals then, Dan Tictum versus Pascal Verline, Cupra Kiro versus Tag Heuer Porsche, and possibly the most important pole position in waiting for Pascal Verline of the season.
So he's going to be the second of the runners, so Dan Tictum is going to set the pace here. He's going to be the first one to cross the beam. This is going to be an exciting final right now.
Yeah, Tictum's only previous dual final was in Tokyo earlier this year, where he lost to Oliver Rowland, who of course he's just defeated in the semi-final today. The Cupra Kiro team have taken 2 pole positions, but that came back in Season 3 with Nelson Piquet in Hong Kong and Oliver Turvey in Mexico City, back when the team was called Neo. Verline, meanwhile, was first in 3 dual finals this season, but that's his first dual final since, would have been since Mexico City, long time ago now. So we'll see how this one is going to work out as he blasts out onto the Berlin circuit for the final time in qualifying trim.
Crucially, what is left of those tyres? They have put a few heat cycles now through those tyres. Pascal Verline has been, by definition, pushing to the limit because he's been the fastest in the quarterfinals, the semi-finals. He was fastest as well in group qualifying, so he has been the man to beat. But just making sure that he gets those tyres in the right window and he hasn't taken maybe too much out of them. That could be the only slight doubt for me.
Yeah, slight doubt, but you know, he's got to deliver it once again to beat Dan Tictum, and for sure Dan Tictum will be trying to maximise and get everything done. I think the big advantage that he's got is the 30 seconds, so they can judge if he is in.
Right, so if for those that are annoyed that I accidentally cut off it during the middle of a sentence, if he is in mid position. Right, so a little bit of a bump there for Tictum as he's going around the corner. Not too bad of a corner turn though. So it's about to begin the difference. Here it is now. So far, Verline is about 3 thousandths of a second behind on Tictum. And which one will win? Okay, Verline gets about a 10th of a second ahead of what Tictum is doing right now. That's moved up about 200ths of a second, so Tictum needs to stop making as many mistakes. He keeps hitting certain bumps. Maybe he should kind of hope that Verline does that if he wants to win, though Verline obviously is being very steady, almost 2 tenths of ahead now from Tictum's time. They're suffering quite a lot going around the corners now, hitting the same issues as what Roland did earlier, Tictum is. Verline is now about 2 tenths, well, 2¼ tenths faster than the time that Tictum is doing right now. And, oh, just had to go down a little bit by about 1/10 of a second because he hit a bump, and that managed to unheave him a bit, though that doesn't matter. He still managed to finish that lap with about 1/10.5 ahead of what Tictum was doing, meaning he has won the duel, or final duel, and is in pole position for the race later on. Joshua will be covering that, I believe. I am not completely sure. It is a championship race. Oh, Verline?
Fine.
Very, very well done. Really good job.
Very happy from Verline there. So, and we've managed to get through qualifying with only a tiny bit of rain, so that is quite the achievement. And I just heard the door go, so I wonder if Joshua is, yeah, he's done with this, and he makes an appearance. It's just finished.
Verline?
Yeah.
Yeah, thought so. Now look at the timing screen.
By about 1/10 of a second to Tictum.
That's not bad. That's not bad around this track. Hello.
Hello.
It's been red flagged in Moto 2. So,
Oh, jeez. Well, you can join us for the end of this.
yeah. Oh, the joys.
Yeah. Right, so, with Joshua's appearance, have you seen at all anything?
No, I've not seen a thing. Which is handy going into having to cover the race later.
Yeah, you haven't really missed much. That is doing a weird thing, though, when it comes to the duels.
Oh, I know, it does it all the time.
So, it was a good qualifying session. Only a slight little drops of rain. It managed to pass quite quickly. And we only had the 1 red flag in Group A.
Yeah, it works.
A little bit of problems around bump issues. Roland went out in one of the duels because he kept hitting issues.
Is it championship decider day here in Berlin once more? Oliver Roland just needs to outscore his rivals by 8 points, and he is the Season 11 champion. Welcome to the 2025 Hankook Berlin E-Prix. It's our second race here at Tempelhof this season, and we're in for an extraordinary one. Today, it's dry, and we've got Pascal Verline on pole position with Dan Tictum alongside after a crazy qualifying that was just starting to rain out. Berlin is a old airfield with massive historical reference as well, but we've had many a different layout around here. It's one of the only circuits on the calendar that's been here since Season 1. And we've raced here more than any other. Attack mode is down at turn 2 on the outside line from the hairpin. The rejoin right on the racing line sometimes causes a bit of issue. 3 and 4 is a loop chicane before heading down into the hairpins at 6 and 7, where yesterday Oliver Roland cost himself a 3-place grid penalty for causing contact. Yesterday, Verline, Costa and Frines proved how crucial it is for an overtake when you're in the 350 kilowatts per hour. Another hairpin follows, a bit wider open at 9 and 10 before you back onto the old start-finish straight before looping into turns 12, 13 and 14, a triple apex left-hander to finish out the lap. Well, this track is awesome, and we are all set for what is going to be, I think, a unique experience here at Tempelhof. Let's check with how they line up on the starting grid then from back to front. Lucas de Grassi had a horrific accident this morning. It seems so long ago, doesn't it, at 8:15? Straight into the wall. He starts at the back alongside his Sergio Setikamara, who has a grid penalty. Nick Cassidy lines up 20th alongside Felipe Djokovic. He's 19th on the grid. Jean-Eric Verne lines up 18th alongside Sebastian Buemi in 17th. Jay Dennis is 16th and Sam Bird in 15th, an all-British 8th row of the grid. Moving forward with Zane Maloney in 14th And Maximilian Gunther with a grid penalty lines up 13th. 12th on the grid for David Bettman. Jake Hughes lines up in 11th. We welcome you up to the commentary box where Ed Hunter has the cars ready on the grid. It's Eduardo Mortara starting up in 10th position on the grid, followed by Mitch Evans lining up in P number 9. 8th on the grid goes to Oliver Rowland with a grid penalty. Let's see what he can... It's not bad around this track. Hello.
Hello.
It's been red flagged in Moto 2. So,
Oh, jeez. Well, you can join us for the end of this.
yeah. Oh, the joys.
Yes. Right, so, with Joshua's appearance, have you seen at all anything?
No, I've not seen a thing. Which is handy going into having to cover the race later.
Yeah, you haven't really missed much. That is doing a weird thing, though, when it comes to the Jules.
Oh, I know. Well, hello, everybody. I apologise for that interruption. Our stream went down. We are back live now. Let's return you to the moment of the start of round 14 of the season.
Roland went out in one of the Jules because he kept his...
car, it's Pascal Verline on pole position once more this season for the TAG Heuer Porsche, and they line up on the grid. Oliver Rowland on 172 points, Verline 125, Barnard on 104, Ed Hunter, welcome to the box. This is possibly championship day. All he needs is 8 points, but that's easier said than done, as proven yesterday.
Well, he needs 11 points on Verline to win it today, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Because he needs to be, 58 points ahead of everybody to win the championship mathematically today. But yeah, it was interesting interviews yesterday. Robin Frein sounded very, very downbeat to come away with nothing. I thought he was very unlucky yesterday. And yeah, I've never heard a driver sound more pessimistic. But to be fair, Robin tends to be a quite downbeat character. So we'll have to see if he can lift himself back up. He certainly qualified well. I wouldn't be surprised to see Robin going for the win today. But yeah, ticked him up front with Verline. Verline will want to save a bit of energy in these early phases. It could get very Peloton-esque.
Remember, it's 38 laps. There's no pit boost. This is a straight run to the end. Are you ready? Then we shall begin. Extinguish the green lights. Activate the reds. 1 light now. 2, 3, 4, 5. Lights out in Berlin. It's a good start from Verline. Tinter's going to come across, and what a start from Robin Freins. Pulls out to the inside line. He's going to have to defend as well from Da Costa. Coming on the outside, there goes Nico Muller, but Barnard's going to force him on the inside line.
Ticktum going for the lead.
Ticktum's on the inside line. Can he get the traction to 3 and 4? No. Verline shut the door on him. Hughes and Verne in a battle. Ticktum stays second. Verline leads, and Roland's past Mortara. So it's pretty much status quo as they head down towards the braking zone for the hairpin for the first time.
Yeah, I'd forgotten about Evans' grid penalty. That's why I have Mortara ahead of him on the grid. There we go, Da Costa back up the inside. And it looks like Muller side by side with Taylor Barnard on exit as well. And Roland so desperate not to get taken out in another incident here. He's got to be careful here as it's 3 wide in front of him. Taylor Barnard up the inside of Muller and Freins.
And that is now just literally Roland watching on. Doesn't want to do anything, doesn't want to get involved. He knows where his priorities lie today. Freins gets ahead, but Barnard's coming back through on the inside, and Barnard's into third. Stunning move. 2 into 1 in the last corner. Lap 1 complete. Verline leads Ticktum Barnard.
Yeah, but is Barnard using more energy to do this at this phase of the race? So would love to know that. But yeah, anyways, we see now Freins going around the outside the Costa, and it looks like Roland trying to do likewise on Nico Muller. But again, the traction's not there, and the more he gets stuck here, the more Mortara can close back in behind him as well. So this is not really working out for Roland. But yeah, for Taylor Barnard, up 4 positions from where he started, and he's now to defend from Robin Freins. So this is the where he sort of feels the pain of using all that energy on the first lap there.
Trying to send it round the outside line is Frines. Barnard's going defensive. Remember what he did here in Berlin a couple of years ago. He likes this circuit. He enjoys it. And he's running well now in third place behind Dan Ticktum. He's ticked him off for a second win. He versus Verline now at the moment. But we all remember what happened in Indonesia when Verline was a little bit in the walls as they come through as well. Frines in fourth,
Roland's
Costa
a bit
fifth.
further back this time.
That is true, yeah. He's not going to punt him this time. But Roland's still in seventh position behind Muller. And now, you can already see, you said just before the lights went out, it's going to be Peloton-esque. And it is, because we've still got the attack modes, but no one wants to go for them just yet. Status quo,
Oh, Beckman's going for it.
What's he taken? 4 and 4, so he's gone for the split strategy down the middle.
And Beckman was in P9 as well. He actually had a really decent qualifying, so that's really good to see. Can David Beckman get his first points in Formula E at home? That would be quite the story. But here's Roland at the moment. This would not be enough for the championship. Up the inside goes Frines into 7 and 8. And there we go. He's ahead of Taylor Barnard. Now Da Costa fancies around him as well.
Don't worry about the driver tracker and information. That will return shortly. It always does this on the opening laps because it can't handle the amount of transponders in 1 second. Roland side by side now. He's trying to pass Muller. Muller's on the outside line. Ticktum and Verline. I think that's just a sensor issue as well, but it could be wrong because that up there, is that Da Costa having a go? Yeah, it's Da Costa trying to pass Barnard. Frines is returning to third position as they come over the line to try and have more traction. Oh, that's close, but Roland has to back out of it, otherwise he lost his front wing end plate.
I thought Nico Miller was going to feed Oliver Roland into the wall there. We also see ABB on the Formula E Zone stream has said stuck, so it's buffering over there. So well, I might have to tell him to switch over to the Josh Birch one. But anyway, Muller and Frines side by side. Muller's trying to go around the outside. He should be able to do this one. Yeah, there we go. Nico Miller onto the podium. Remember, he's had such bad luck this season missing out on podiums. Nico Miller will be desperate to take this one. Taylor Barnard, loses out and it's free wide in front of them.
That's going to be chaotic. Roland has him flashbacks as Beckman comes back to the inside line. Barnard's dropped back a couple of places. Sam Bird as well is now trying to move up into 12th. He's batting with Zane Maloney. Barnard's down to 8th. As Dan Ticktum is going to have the accelerator here as Roland's clipping every curb. Yeah, the buffering should have stopped now. It was just because the amount of transponders, the Formula E timing systems can't handle it. And it does freeze on lap 2, but it always comes back on lap 4. So it's just a standard thing. Don't worry, it's back now working. As you see, it's catching up dramatically. And Dan Ticktum, according to my timing monitor, he's pulling to the outside line and takes the lead of the race. Ticktum leads in Berlin. And look at Beckman.
And look, Beckman in attack mode is now up to 4th, right behind the 2 Porsches. So it is all our top 4 positions of Porsche powertrains. The Kiras using year-old ones, of course. Yeah, Verline, Da Costa very much waiting their turn. Now, you do sense that maybe there's a bit of team orders between the 2 Porsches where Da Costa's been told not to attack Verline. Let's look at this. Actually, Beckman is sort of stuck behind. That's allowing Frines to try and go back around the outside here.
Beckman might have a go.
Beckman is really going to lose out once everyone else uses their attack modes as he passes Da Costa, or tries to anyway.
He's having a look, isn't he? He's had a sniff as Roland tries to look around the outside this time of Muller. He can't switch back to the inside. I think Beckman is now going to have a run. They're all swapping around the timing screen. There he goes. Beckman's going to make the move on to Costa at least on the inside line, and he makes it up into 3rd position. So Verline still in 2nd. Ticktum leads this race as they come out to the kink at 15 to start lap 6 of 38. Ticktum, Verline, Beckman, Da Costa have got side by side already. On the back straight, is that
Maloney, Mortara.
Yeah, there we go. Thank you very much. And Maloney into 10th. Mortara. Bird's going through.
Beckman up to 2nd, past Verline, so it's now a Cooper Kiro 1-2 here.
Kiro are going to be...
That is quite insane.
Screenshot! Just 1-2. That's very unusual for them to be this high
surely
up.
40 seconds left. Ticktum might have to let Beckman through here as well.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's the case. He's not thinking too much, but Beckman can't be held up as there's a move going on there. As Roland's under pressure again.
He's going around the outside of Muller.
Yeah,
Muller's defended very, very well here.
I think he dived to the inside to go defensively. He's right, Ed. Beckman's let Ticktum the other way around. Ticktum's let Beckman through. Yeah. I caught myself in that one.
Beckman position man. There we go.
So Beckman leads. This is what happens. Oh, hang on. Da Costa and Verline still doing a bit of ding-dong. Da Costa's past Verline.
Not necessarily.
Is he?
I think so.
Timing screen said he had. There we go.
Okay, there we go.
TV pictures. Thank you very much for not putting this on television. Up the inside, the 2 were ding-dong in practice 1. Da Costa by the way, every time it's been a practice session this weekend, he's ended up in the wall. Had a wheel fall off earlier on this morning. It was quite funny.
He did, yeah. Yeah, this is interesting now. So is the idea for Da Costa to attack the Cupra Kiros?
Tictum's
And
going
again
for
for
it.
Wehrlein to save a bit of energy. Oh, here we go. Beckman getting defensive. Da Costa on the outside. It's a wall of bright yellow Cupra Kiros all in Da Costa's way here. It's Tictum and Beckman side by side.
If Alvis Beckman let Tictum through and defend against Da Costa, that's
Yeah,
exactly
there we
it.
go.
This is like the Jaguars a couple of years ago. Do you remember when they were just leading in the front? They were doing the same thing. They're using the same tactics.
It is Monaco very, very well, didn't they, James?
Yeah. Same tactics, same time as they come back through once more.
Da Costa's already past Beckman, though, into the final couple of corners.
Beckman leading out of attack now. We'll stay patient.
Yeah, so
Yeah, so they're staying patient, basically. They know where...
Well, the thing was, that was what he did yesterday, though. He stayed patient, and then, when the safety car had the opportunities opened up, he got way too excited. Beckman's being shuffled back now. Both the Porsches are through, and now Robin Freins is nipping at his heels as well.
Yeah, as they come through, just double checking the wet stream is okay. As their 6 hours of Sao Paulo starts soon. Tictum now and Da Costa moving up as they go into the braking zone. Round the outside, Robin Freins trying to move on David Beckman. Beckman goes in super late on the brakes, almost runs into the back of Wehrlein. And well, Beckman was forced into that there. Freins goes through on Beckman. It's a catch. It's just literally just hold on to a position and try and hold it. As Roland, he's going to get sick of this Andretti soon. It's the same livery type, kind of what we have the Nissan with the same colour scheme, but he's going to get sick of the sight of the back
I don't
of
remember there
it.
being that much blue on the Nissan at the back, but never mind. I see what you mean. The cherry blossom does make the Nissan stand out a bit more, to my mind. But yeah, Roland. The problem is that they're in the same positions. He doesn't want to go for attack mode yet because A, it'd be too early, and B, he's still got Taylor Barnard right behind him. As there we go, looks like Pascal Wehrlein's retaken the lead. Da Costa's letting through, and he's gotten past Tictum as well. And now Da Costa is trying to have a go at Tictum, but he's not quite able to get the overlap out of turn 2.
Yeah, peloton style with just team tactics at the front. That's exactly what you need. And Tictum's lost his rear gunner as well because Beckman's down in 5th
But
place.
crucially, Tictum's now not making a big hole in the air for everybody else, although he pushes to the outside and he goes side by side with Da Costa. So yeah, Wehrlein not escaping yet. That's the problem when you're leading. You've got to sort of save energy at this early phase of the race to make sure you don't run out. Round the outside, it's Tictum side by side with Pascal Wehrlein. But it's like neither of them want to lead at the moment.
No, and that's the thing. It's because you don't want to have the wasted energy at the front because no regen. 3 wide to the braking zone. Hard on the brakes, and there goes Da Costa taking 2nd place away on the inside line. Now that must be a plan for attack mode.
Roland!
Roland's on the inside, but Muller's there too. And Roland's jumped them both.
That's a double move from Roland.
Muller was trying to attack Beckman. Roland saw the opportunity and dive bombs it up into 5th place to come across the line. Is anyone going to go for attack mode? It's like lap 1 of the race. They're all side by side to the first corner.
Oh, Freins, they're going to squeeze Da Costa. Oh, just about avoided that one, yeah. But now Roland is having a go at the Portuguese driver then.
That's tight.
Into turn 3, and Freins has got the inside on Tictum.
And Muller's back on the inside line of Roland, so he's going to have the slipstream down towards the braking zone now. Side by side, hard on the brakes, we go into turn number 7 and 8, and Roland knows he's got to hold it back. Beckman's round the outside, and there comes Mitch Evans, more tyres in the 2. Roland puts his foot down. He's not going to be squeezed out this time, and he gets back up into 5th position. The timing screens changing dramatically, and there's wheel contact between Roland and Muller. And Beckman back up the inside.
That wasn't wise by Muller. It's opened the door for Taylor Barnard now in the McLaren powered by Nissan. Up the inside of the final complex. Is there going to be enough space for both of them? Just about. It is going to be Taylor Barnard that gets the inside, though.
Side by side over the line as we take a look at the team principal down there at Nissan. 28 laps to go, and he says, get back to the race. Round the outside, 3 wide in the braking zone. That's going to be time for Robin Freins. He's the meat in the sandwich, and they just all make it through.
Let's make sure we keep it efficient.
Yeah, back up, back up.
Let's just make sure we don't take each other out. As side by side still between Da Costa and Tictum. Is Da Costa going to feed Tictum into the wall like he did Hughes yesterday? Oh no, actually he tapped Hughes around, didn't he? In wet conditions, admittedly. But there we go, Da Costa dive bombing Tictum. Oh, but that's going to compromise his exit. Surely they're still side by side, and Dan Tictum is going to get the inside into the 8 and 9 hairpin.
Late on the brakes, keeps it through, and now he'll field Da Costa out wide, and he's done so. Through goes Tictum back into 2nd position and now Frine's having a go to have a look on the back, but it was a bit deceptive there. It looked like Frine's going to have a go, but now we come down from the helicopter camera. There is Roland in fifth.
Evans passed Muller for 7th, so yeah, Mitch Evans is on the move here. The drag powertrains look pretty decent at this phase.
The only good news is that Muller has now dropped back enough to stop being a threat to Roland, who was stuck with him for quite a lot of the race. Tixon's going to try and on the outside, and that's Verline just letting him through.
It didn't look like Verline was fighting that one particularly.
Just lifted off the throttle, and do you reckon he was trying to go for attack mode and couldn't get to it because Tickton was around the outside?
No, I don't think I need him to be going quite this early, other than Beckman, who we saw do the gamble there. Beckman's already down to 12th, by the way.
Yeah, failed that
clearly,
gamble.
his race pace has backfired a bit with the peloton. Going too early has left him a little bit vulnerable.
Roland?
Because he gained all that ground, got to the front, and then just got swallowed up again once the attack mode ran out.
Evans going to get through on Muller as well further back. I'm feeling a bit worried here as well about Roland. I think he's getting a bit too brave, throwing the car up the inside line. It is possibly championship decided.
I think that was justified. He made the move work. Taylor Barnard's having a little go at him into the back end of the final sector here. But as long as the pack's bunched together, Roland needs to sort of gain positions where he can, because if he wants to seal the title today, it's Verline that he's got to beat, essentially. And yeah, if he has someone like Ticktum up front splitting them, that would be hugely beneficial to the 11-point swing he needs to seal it today. But yeah, Roland is playing the long game like that message whose engineer suggested.
I mean, I kind of want him to wrap it up today, because that's the reason I haven't gone to Donington Park.
Laps. We are around 3% down on last cars of the queue.
I get a bit annoyed if I don't go to Donington for the World Superbikes and WCR, and Roland doesn't win the title. So come on, he's going to throw it on the inside of the
he's having a go at Frines, yeah. Well, I sort of assumed that I wasn't going to London because you sort of said, oh, I'll sort out media access, and I've not heard anything. It's, oh, Taylor Barnard defending from Muller, and that's going to allow Mitch Evans to have a go around the outside. And let's hope Evans doesn't get fed into the wall here as he tries to repass Nico Muller. He's got the traction around the outside on this abrasive concrete, and it's actually Muller that takes the inside line and retakes the position.
Yeah, well, I would have done London if it wasn't for the fact that nobody turns up anymore to help out. So I've sort of been boxed in to have to stay. So yeah, anyway, more about that later.
Speaking of boxed in.
Yeah, look at this, 2 Porsches trying to have a go with Ticktum as well at the front. And now we've got Frines just waiting behind. But the 2 Porsches are literally doing the old Top Gear style. Side by side, trying to hold everybody else from stopping, overtaking them. It's giving Ticktum the breathing advantage. Now got a 1/10 of a second advantage.
Yeah, that's minuscule though. And you do sense that Ticktum, while he's very, very quick, it's the factory Porsches that have maybe got the efficiency advantage. Taylor Barnard trying to go back up the inside of Roland. Very nearly takes him out there. That was really deep on the brakes for the Englishman there. But yeah, Taylor Barnard, of course, not going to be intimidated. He scored his first points here a year ago. How far he's come as Muller gets forced wide. That allows Taylor Barnard back up the inside.
So now it could be he would be increasing pace. We're in a good position there. So that's Ticktum going forward, trying to break out a gap.
It's Pascal Wehrlein being told that, yes. So
yeah.
the Porsche cars are all going that little bit faster, building it up, hoping they don't run out of energy. That's a little bit squirrely on exit there from Roland, and that's going to allow Taylor Barnard, that we were right on board the nose cone of, to try and challenge, as we see Robin Frines trying to go around the outside of Wehrlein as he's past Acosta. So yeah, Frines starting to spoil the Porsche party here.
Yeah, so Frines up into what is now 3rd place. He's going to be on the back of Wehrlein as they head down in towards the 6-7 hairpin and dive on the inside line. Wehrlein's going to retake the lead as well. Is Frines going to get the underneath traction or try and swap back to Ticktum down in towards 8 and 9? He's going to be in the traction, try and do so. Wrong time for a full screen replay, Formula E director. And this is Barnard just... nearly touching
get
side.
well over the curb. Look at this. Look at the right-hand side. He notices he's going to be side by side. Gets as far over the curb as he can without hitting the concrete. And yeah, just about survives that one.
Frines is through. Frines is through to 2nd place. Sorry to get a crush. He's cut through on the inside at 15. Go on.
Yeah, there we go. So Robin Frines desperate to get a win under his belt. It's been a long time since his last victory as well. And he was so dejected after yesterday. Da Costa now diving late around the outside, almost to distract Frines from attacking his teammate. And Roland is just watching the top 4 bicker in front of him. like rats in a sack at the moment, and he's just waiting for the right moment to strike.
So you have 1% more than all three cars ahead of you, 2% more than Pascal, 1 less than Taylor behind. Energy good.
Energy good. Very nicely done then.
He's been saving more energy in the pack than Wehrlein has leading, so this looks very good for Roland.
He's now watching as Ticktum and DaCosta have been doing battling. Ticktum's trying to go on the outside of Frines. Now Roland's got an inside McLaren again. That's going to be close. Barnard side by side again. Has to take more tighter angle coming into turn 9. And now we swing it back into 12, 13, 14. The sweeping triple left. And look at that. Evans got forced out wide there. DaCosta's repassed Ticktum. Over the line we go.
That was Evans going for a move on Taylor Barnard. He's going for these around the outside moves. It's not the favourable corner at the final couple of corners, 11 and 12. As we look at this, Roland early on the brakes. That allows Taylor Barnard to challenge briefly around the outside, but it's because Roland knew the pack was going to bunch up ahead of him. Ticktum going back around the outside to defend from DaCosta. Taylor Barnard has gone up the inside of Roland as well, so the concertina effect is very much playing out here. Ticktum very, very nearly squeezes DaCosta in the wall before letting off the throttle.
Light on the brakes!
Dive bomb from Roland!
3 wide into the hairpin and Roland takes 2. That's fantastic from Ollie Roland. He's going to move ahead, but now we've got a real battle because we've got Ticktum and... Well,
Barnard going for P2.
He's taking it.
DaCosta.
So Barnard cuts back on the inside line. It's happening everywhere at the moment. They're all moving around. Haven't even taken their attack mode yet. And it's still so chaotic to try and work out what's going on. 18 of 38 here. Over the line. Wehrlein, Barnard, DaCosta, Frines, Roland, Ticktum, Evans, Muller, Verne, Mortar at the top 10. Even that changes to Ticktum now. Back ahead of Ollie Roland as they come over the line.
Yeah, and
there's
the
a dive
longer they
bomb.
will leave it. Whoa! Look at how late, or compared to everybody else, Roland was on that occasion. And now we see Taylor Barnard trying to snatch the race lead from Pascal Wehrlein, but does he want it
Evans!
just yet? Evans going around the outside of Roland as well. It felt like Ticktum was almost pushing the Nissan along there.
He was, look, Ticktum's got a bit of wing damage as well on the front, so he has pushed somebody around earlier on. He's got a little bit of a crack in the nose cone. 3 wide into the hairpin. Roland's taking the extreme inside line. He's trying to get past Evans at the front. Wehrlein still leads. Barnard's holding off DaCosta quite well as we head down in towards 8 and 9. Once more, the top 3 line astern. It's DaCosta trying to go around the outside of Frines. That's bringing Roland with him and Ticktum. And then on the inside, you've got Muller as well trying to get through.
Yeah, I just want to briefly put your attention on Nick Cassidy, who's been right at the back of the pack and saving energy. And now he's starting to make up places towards the top 16. He's right behind Stoffel Van Dorn at the moment. So both Jaguars using a similar strategy, and Evans has gotten up to 5th in all of this.
Over the line we come then, and here comes Taylor Barnard. Pulls to the outside line to try and get ahead. Late on the last breakers, the 2 Porsches going to go side by side. On the undercut, through on the inside line, beautifully done. Barnard takes the lead of the race. We all come through at the exit, and there's a yellow flag at turn 2.
Oh, Evans past Frines. That's a P4 for Jaguar.
Sorry, safety car out of the race has gone Sebastian Buemi. His weekend goes from bad to worse. Buemi has stopped. Is that a red car?
There he is. Don't think so. I think it's just come to a halt.
It's safety car, not red flag, so that's a little bit of an interesting gambit now. How long till we run before that safety car? We know it's coming. Frines trying to get through on the inside line of Evans. Evans back ahead. Roland's dropped down to 7th, but safety car's out now and all halting positions as we come through.
Yeah. Oh, and you've got to feel for Mortara because he had gone into attack mode, had just gotten up to 5th and was hoping to snatch a lead, but the safety car could not have been timed worse. On the flip side, for Taylor Barnard, that's worked out beautifully now because he can save energy in the lead under the safety car.
So they hold it back once more under the safety car as we will continue to push through. Lap 20 then, and of 38, Barnard leading this race.
Right, so if it ended this way, Wehrlein 3rd, Roland 7th, it would definitely continue on. The gap would go down from 47 points. What would it be between Roland and Wehrlein? 7th place
38.
is... 7th place is 6 points. 3rd place is 15 points. That'd be a 9-point swing. Yeah, you're right, 38 points, I think.
That was quick mental maths from me, and I was glad I was right. But when we stood in the car, let's take a look then at what happened. I hope it's not a red
just
car.
shut down suddenly. So yeah, this is the move from Barnard.
So we're looking further back. There he is, coming into Kilton now.
Oh. Lucky Muller didn't get squeezed there. I think that's happened about 3 or 4 times, so there's been 2 cars either side of him.
There he is.
And there we go. It's slowed down on the run into turn 1. You can tell, because he's pulled immediately to the inside.
This is Barnard's on board to take the lead of the race. Undercuts both Porsches. That was fantastic.
That was brilliant racecraft there. He knew there was going to be a small gap on the inside, wait for them all to run out wide to the racing line, and just immediately took it there. So yeah, Barnard planned that one ahead.
A quick power cycle, so P1, P0. The leaders are at the finish line, and it is safety car, so we have time.
Well, he's out of the car, so I assume that didn't work.
So it's not a red car, though, because he didn't do the jump.
Yeah. It was something that Dennis suffered yesterday was an inverter failure, which is why he couldn't get off the grid.
Marigolds. Is it red? I hope not. Usually the FIA get a signal if it's red.
The fact that Buemi's walked back in, they haven't had to get the electrical safety blankets out, tells me it's not a red car.
I hope it's not, because that's the last thing I need right now with 21 to 38. This is going quite similar.
They're not going to put Seb back in the car. No. He's gotten out, that's it.
He's
so
out of the race.
What I assume they've got to do now is figure out how to get the car behind the barriers. He has stopped right in front of a gap, luckily, so you would think this wouldn't be too long one. They've got the medical car out just to check on Seb. Should be another lap, and then we should be done here.
It's in this lap, you're right, Ed. So it was just a power cut failure. There's no red car. We can continue this race.
Could be the inverter fail, because that was exactly what happened to Dennis yesterday, why he didn't get off the grid at all. He got it going a little bit, but the inverter was gone, so he was just running on fumes, essentially.
Why is it that we're seeing so many power failures this year than any other? The switch to 350 kilowatt of energy has just killed it.
Well, I think originally there were sort of supply issues just before the Gen 3 started, and now I think maybe there's a sense of Gen 3 Evo with the extra power is part of it, but also these cars have just been in service for 3 seasons now, and I think they're just starting to get a bit long in the tooth. It seems to happen quite quickly in Formula E that after about 2 seasons, the cars are a bit old and past it, even with this Gen 3 Evo update, which is really just the 4-wheel drive being turned on and the new front wing.
Think about adjusting settings and think about everything you can do to help efficiency with all those laps in the lead.
That's Verline going to try and take it. But yeah, as you say, we were pushing Gen 2 at the end, weren't we? After a couple of seasons out.
Look at Taylor Barnard's energy, 53 compared to the Costa 51. Verline 50 as they go back up to racing speeds here. Andy Evans has been saving a lot as well. Porsche could be in trouble here.
Well, we've got to use both of the attack modes because we're running out of laps, of course. So that I don't think that would have added a lap to the distance. So let's have a look.
17 laps to go.
Yeah.
So it should be about 17, 18 laps left, roughly.
Last lap, 130. Yeah, I think we'd have an extra
Barnard
one
going
lap.
for attack mode.
Barnard takes it. So that puts now Costa into the lead of the race. But Barnard's going to have the traction to sweep back through. This is Taylor Barnard's race in his hand. He's done an amazing job. Could he be on for his first ever race win in Formula E as he breezes past both Porsches in just like they were standing still? Beautiful.
Yeah, there we go. Well, they knew it wasn't really worth Kamikaze getting the brakes to fight because Barnard would be getting through sooner or later. So surely Taylor Barnard has got to take advantage of this and disappear into the distance until that attack mode runs out, and then he can start saving energy again.
He's doing it. You're right. He is doing exactly that as they come through. As the racing goes on once more into the triple last corner as we go on. Back on the accelerator, over the line to start lap 23 of this race. Barnard leading. Is anyone else going to go for the attack mode coming into it this time? The 2 Porsches side by side into the braking zone and diving up the inside. Here comes Mitch Evans out of nowhere, also in the battle as well. Side by side at the exit now. Push your Prattle down and in attack mode. There's contact. Hang on a minute, we've got a yellow flag. The safety car's out again. Muller and Bird have hit each other.
Oh dear.
Muller is out.
Just as well nobody else went for attack mode, but that's actually really bad for Taylor Barnard.
And to targets, we can underconsume slightly.
Yeah, but the safety car's out because Muller's rear-ended Bird. Bird's out of the race.
He's gotten out of it. It looks like Muller will be able to carry on because this is reversing, as we're still seeing the safety car has come out on the timing screen, but not in the actual race yet. So because of that minute delay for TNT. So yeah, there we go. DaCosta and Evans side by side, and it looks like DaCosta just about held on there, crucially.
It's only 20 seconds, but it feels like an eternity.
So Taylor Barnard's lost essentially 2 minutes of that first attack mode. They still got a second one to play with.
But so do the others.
Well, the others have got 2 now. So keeping your powder dry is actually really advantageous at this phase.
What a weird rate. Oh, that's Boemi's car. That was been pushed out. Bird's now going to join him down there at the
He's
turn
gone
2.
in the infield section, yeah, where the plane is.
Well, hop a flight, get out of here. That's what he's been thinking of today. Not been the great weekend for Sam. And that's that's a puncture and probably...
Ooh, it sounds very rough for Muller there. So yeah, so clearly there was contact between him and Bird. It ended with Muller somehow stuck behind Bird despite getting a rear puncture.
I think there's been 3. I think there's somebody else involved in that. Someone's hit the back of Muller, caused his puncture, and then hit Bird. I think there's 3. I want to see a replay if we've got it.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if the puncture happened early and that was why Muller was struggling.
Because there's no point to, there's no reason why he would have that puncture if Bird's ahead of him. Because Bird, I saw that when they made contact, it was Bird ahead in the attack mode zone, and Muller was behind. So I don't know where
Surely now, Josh, this is Verline's race to lose now because he's got the attack mode advantage over Barnard.
Yeah, let's have a look at Muller. So this is the onboard. So he's down to the breaker zone. We'll look further back. They've gone on the exit of turn 2. So you look. So look, Bird just runs out
they're
wide.
both going for attack mode. That's what happened. They've come together, both going for attack mode, and then, Nico Muller's just gone straight on into the back of Sam Bird. It was very weird because it looked like Bird went for it, and then Muller was trying to avoid him around the outside.
No, they've already got punctures.
There they are.
They've already made contact. Bird's hit
So
Muller.
it looks like Sam's car shut down. He was so unlucky
No,
yesterday.
Ed, look. Bird's hit Muller on the way. Muller's turned into him on the
Oh,
straight.
there we go.
And that's why Bird's ahead.
Right.
Bird's front right has hit the rear left of Muller, and the cars have just shut down.
So there wasn't a third car involved. They were just, And then poor Nico, who's already got the puncture, sees Sam slowing down in front of him. I'm not sure why Sam slows down.
That's weird. He's thinking, what?
And he's like, come on, get out of the way.
And Bird's straight out of the car.
Yeah. Oh, he's angry at him.
But yeah, okay. Muller did cut across him on the start
Maybe he
straight.
feels Muller slowed down suddenly when he was defending.
Is the suspension broken? Let's have a look on board. So watch. Muller's ahead. Bird's on board. Bird goes for it. Muller then just jams into him. And,
There's such a tiny touch as well. And I wonder, yeah, he has to get out of it. His front right is gone. Yeah, there we go. So that's why Bird comes to a stop, because he knows he can't get back to the pits.
Well,
and unfortunately, Nico Muller, with his own puncher, can't steer out of the way as well very easily.
Sam throws his
What a
gloves.
horrible weekend for Sam. He missed out on a point by a 1/10 of a second because of the pit boost failing on him in the first race. And now he's out of this one. So, yeah, it's not been the greatest end to Sam Bird's Formula E career. And I think that's a huge shame because Sam is such an accomplished driver, won a number of races in the early seasons. And he said, look, I don't want to end my Formula E career. But unfortunately, because McLaren are pulling out, it's a decision that's been taken out of his hands. So, yeah, Zach Brown is sort of ruining Sam's career at the moment.
I don't think the suspension was broken for Sam Bird. We'll get Jack Giamana to have a word with him.
I think his spirit was broken, that's for sure.
But I think he could have gone back to the pit lane. There's no reason why he couldn't. There's no suspension broken. You have 3 other
It would have been
wheels.
difficult because the tyre was about to fall off the rim. So, yeah, there almost certainly would have been suspension damage had he continued.
I think he could have tried. I think that was a very...
He had a left-hand corner coming up and no right tyre to turn with. So
Still got a left.
It would have been painful, and there would have been a safety car regardless. So, yeah, Taylor Barnard just unlucky here. But, yeah, this could be a very difficult restart for McLaren. One car down, another car looking vulnerable in the lead, but he has got the energy advantage. That's the one thing in Taylor Barnard's favour now.
So, Roland in where is he now? 7th position as we get ready for the restart to come through.
Well, Cassidy has got 51%. That's pretty impressive down in P12. So Cassidy's going to keep moving forward here as well.
Barnard leads, but he's attack mode down as we restart this race and pray that there's just a good run. We will have 2 added laps to this race at bare minimum at the moment as we come in towards the braking zone. DeCosta's going to go for attack mode straight away. Verlane's going to try and cover off his teammate. In comes as well Frines, Roland and Jean-Eric Verne. Van Dorn in there as well, all taking it. 2 minutes for Verline, 4 minutes for Frines, Roland and Jean-Eric Verne and Van Dorn and Degrassi.
Well, they've sort of got to get it out of the way now because they're running out of time in the race. There's only a certain amount of energy that they have to have in the battery before they're not allowed to use it, if I'm not mistaken.
You are correct. Less than 10%, they can't use attack mode.
Yeah, there we go. So yeah, while they're at 40%, now's the time to strike then. But yeah, we see Mortara, having run out of his first one earlier, is now another car that Roland and Frines and Verline will have to pass here. They've cleared Tictum. Verline has just cleared Mortara, and now it's Frines' turn. Of course, Roland and Frines might start fighting each other before they catch Mortara here.
Out onto the start-finish straight we come once again. The sun shining here at Tempelhof as fastest lap comes from Mitch Evans, but Frines is coming in as well for an attack around the outside. There we go again into the attack mode. So that's going to be Verline back to second. DaCosta, hang on a minute, DaCosta went for it. Did he not get it?
I think he didn't go for it. It was Verline you're thinking if he went.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah. That's a long lap then.
Oh, DaCosta's crucially right out ahead of Roland as well.
Sorry, the graphic wasn't up for who was in attack mode, so I completely forgot that Verline already had it. I should be looking at my other monitor to come through. Barnard is going to be under pressure here because Verline's right on the back of him, coming down towards the hairpin at 8 and 9. He's going to try and go for it.
Run out. He's got 30 seconds left though. And look at this, DaCosta up the inside of Mortara. Mortara goes a little bit wide. Roland, oh, nearly gets squeezed at the apex there. And here comes Verline for the lead.
In the inside line, and Verline leads in Berlin. Now can Frines. Barnard's just got to hold on and hope he doesn't go much for Roland. Front tyre touching to the rear. And that Mahindra of Mortara is everywhere. Yeah, I thought he did. I was looking and it was vibrating like crazy.
Yeah, so this isn't too bad for Barnard because Verline's just run out, but here comes Frines up the inside looking to spoil the day for McLaren once again. And so, yeah, Brian's still got 2 minutes left. He might transfer that for the lead him. Evans is nearly getting squeezed into the wall by Roland.
That's going to be tight then. Roland's got the inside line, and he's got less attack mode than DaCosta, but he's got Barnard who's sort of just playing chicken in the middle of the road. Pulls to the inside line, so Barnard's dropped back, I think, into about 9th now on that run. He's behind Mortara for certain. Let's have a look. He's behind Vern, so he's 7th. Mortara didn't... No, he is side by side with Mortara. Mortara's backed out of it. And now he's cutting back to the inside line. Frines leads this race. Verline now starting to drop. Up now goes Evans. DaCosta's been swapping around as well. Evans is in 2nd. DaCosta's 3rd. Verline's going to get passed by Roland, and that's crucial for the World Championship. Roland is now ahead of Verline in this race. And now it's game on to wrap up the title with around 12 remaining.
Yeah, Verline's got another attack mode still to go. Side by side, it's Evans going for the lead on Frines.
Nicely done. Evans leads. Now, why is Frines not lifting off? He's got the 4-wheel drive in the attack mode. Robin Frines is no stranger to how to race here in Berlin. He's competing more than any other. I think only Sam Bird's done the most. In fact, I think Bird's done them all. Thinking about it coming across, he didn't do that race a couple of years ago. And Frines is going to take the lead of the race on the inside line. Evans is going to be forced out towards the wall. They've still kept it in. And here comes Roland on the inside line. Roland's going to go for it. A Hail Mary on the inside line. He breaks lane. Roland takes the lead in Berlin. Roland leads. He's done it again. The same place he did 2 years ago. Roland leads.
That's a title winning position.
Because Verline is down in 6th place. That's more than 11. So this...
Yeah, but Verline's still got another attack mode to go. So, yeah, they all do pretty much. So once this runs out, they're going to immediately go into their next one. That's what I think Frines is about to do here. He's just run out, and Vern is in the same position as is Roland.
Look at the outside line for DaCosta. He's got another minute left on the attack mode. He's trying to get through, but messes it up. Roland keeps the lead. Yeah, and Evans goes back to 2nd place. Roland leads, and it's title advantage.
Oh, but he's out of attack mode, and Evans has still got 45 seconds left, and so too does DaCosta here, so this could get very, very tense.
Yep, gone for it.
Roland couldn't have gone for it because he had the Porsche on his outside there on that lap.
And Roland's going to try and go in deep as well, but Evans has got the outside line with the 4-wheel drive. He'll get the traction and earlier speed up as well, down towards 8 and 9. He's going to pull to the outside line, and DaCosta's going to be right there as well. Evans is going to have the inside. Can he get it? No. But Roland's having to... Well, he's just got no drive on the exit.
From Evans.
Evans has taken it.
Yeah, it was only so much Roland could do there. He's got to go back into his final attack mode now.
Still keeping through on the inside line for an attack to try and have it go through as well. Don't know where that spike of energy came from as well for a second. As they come back through. Over the line.
Look at the Lolas. They're in 6th and 8th now. Yeah, so yeah, Degrassi and Maloney fighting away with the Cooper Kiros. And look at them side by side behind Robin Frines. Where have they come from in this race?
They have been cool, calm, and accelerated, and now they're side by side with each other. The Superman livery colours as well might just be what they need here to fly through. Berlin very heavily promoted for the film here this weekend. A lot of promotion in the region for the new movie, and I'm going to go see it. It looks great, as well as the F1 that breaks. 3 wide, so right now...
Maloney having a go.
Where's Spurline dropped down to on the order? I can't find him.
He's the 13th at the moment, behind Hughes.
So right now is Roland's champion, correct, as things stand? Yes, he is.
Absolutely, I think. Yeah, 15
187.
points.
Yeah.
Well, the Costa would gain a little bit, but he was like quite a way down.
Roland's going for an attack.
67 points behind.
Roland's...
So he needs to be less than 58.
Roland's attacking. He's attacking Jean-Eric Verne, but they've all run out of attack mode, so it's level playing field now.
Burns through.
So when are we going to have this battle in towards the braking zone? Roland's got to go for an opportunity soon, and DaCosta's going to badge Evans out of the way. Verne's coming in. Roland's on the outside. Frines in there too. Watch out for Cassidy. He's got now, 2 attack modes left. He can really charge up the field, and he's got more power.
He's their first one, Cassidy, so he's going to clear Verline easily, you'd think. But Verline is saving his final attack mode for later on, interestingly.
But it's not going to work.
And here comes Evans to the outside later on into 7 and 8. Roland still having a go at Verne, and now Frines is caught back right up to him. And Degrassi is part of this melee as well.
What it would be nice if Formula E just put up a little title that says title chance for Roland, not us having to do mental maths, as Jean-Eric Verne has got a great traction. He's already cleared Evans. Can he now clear DaCosta into the breakers zone with 3 wide mid-pack, including in that is also Pascal Verline. And now DaCosta takes the lead of the race, and Jean-Eric Verne is going to be on the attack through as well as they enter the start-finish straight. Verne is going to be right up behind them, and now we've got 4 wide on the max straight as well as Evans tries to go to the outside line, and there goes Verne on the inside, and Roland's trying a Hail Mary, and Roland's...
attack mode.
He's locked up. Does he get it? Yes, he does. Roland's in his last attack mode.
And Drugovic also goes in for Mahindra as well. So yeah, Roland has got to make up these places. P4 is what he really needs if DaCosta wins this one, but if DaCosta doesn't win, then P5 or 6 should be enough.
Title chance.
Debris.
Yeah, that's from the earlier accident as well. Title chance.
It's a tyre.
Yeah.
Yeah, bits of the rubber that from Muller's car.
Yeah, Muller. Wait, is Muller back in this race? No, is he?
He is. Yeah, look, there he is. He's in attack mode, and he's up to P4 at the moment. Well, he's about to run out here. Dennis has done the same, and he's right behind him, and now Roland's going to go up the inside of him as well.
So Muller is in 4th place, and now he's being battled with by Roland as well. What on earth was that? So Muller now could win this race despite being last at the end of the last safety car period. That's how crazy this race is.
He caused that safety car.
Yeah.
Changed tyres under the safety car, and then rejoined the back of the pack, went into attack mode.
And he's going for second. He's going for second.
No, that's Roland.
Yeah, so Roland's going for second. Oh, hang on. That's Dennis
going for his last attack mode. Oh, and he's going to come out right behind Robin Frines.
Frines got 1 more to go, though. He's in 10th position at the moment. What a dramatic race this has turned out to be. And you know, I'm really annoyed that we're going to have the world champion and we're not going to be able to do anything with it because we've got to go off to Wimbledon as Roland round the outside and he's going to take the lead of the race. And Roland leads with title chance in Berlin.
Yeah, we don't know how many extra laps there are going to be as well. Could be 5 laps left in this one, I think.
Even though we're off air quickly today, join us tomorrow on Formula E Zone and on JB Motorsports for the Rookies Test, where we will analyse all of the championship conundrums that and hear from our world champion as well.
Cassidy's
going to London.
Up to P2. How's he managed that from the back of the grid?
That Jaguar's got something. Muller and Bird investigated after the race, so Muller's not going to get away with it.
Did you see the interview with Nick Cassidy, by the way? He was talking to Katie Fairman, and he had to sort of stop himself.
Yes.
He said something along the lines of, oh, it's a bit of a lottery how I can go from 2 seconds off in qualifying and then still get up to P5. He goes into attack mode, just comes out ahead of DaCosta there. So this is working out beautifully for Nick Cassidy.
And 3 wide into the braking zone. That's going to be close. Yes, I did see it, actually. We were going to try and play it this morning. We got the session restarted in time, so we couldn't play it. But I did see it, yeah, when she was talking to Katie as well.
So Dennis and Cassidy, having saved energy so much at the start, looked really good on energy. Sede Kamara as well.
25, 26. Yeah, so he's ahead. Roland's going to be champion.
I think Nick Cassidy can win this one now because he's got the attack mode advantage on Roland here. Roland knows P2
It's
would
enough.
still be enough for the title. I don't know how Drugovic has gone up to third as well. That's insane, too.
He said, watch me today. This will be the day I prove what I can do in Formula E. Discounted yesterday with the penalties he got for that car.
Apparently wasn't really his fault yesterday.
No, well, speeding the pit lane was, but no, I agree with you. Cassidy's taking the lead on Roland, and it's 3 added laps. Wow.
There we go, right. That's quite a number. So, yeah, it'd be interesting if once Cassidy runs out, whether Roland can catch back up to him, but I think we're about to see the move happen on stream.
Every attack mode coming through. So it's only Van Dorn and Gunther's in the pits. Gunther's out of the race, I think. There's Cassidy leading.
It looked like Gunther was getting squeezed out by Muller and Friends early on. But yeah, Robin Friends is going to be very annoyed the way this one has worked out as Dennis is all over the back of Drugovic, who's about to run out in the next 27 seconds here.
So, Roland now is in second place, but it's enough for the championship as things stand. Verline is in 11th and he's going to try and charge through, but I don't think he's going to be making that big of a movement. We'll keep an eye on it as it goes. Remember, 11 points more, but the way it's going, I think we could be going to London.
Well, 11 points more than Verline. DeCoste and Barnard, he had even less that he needed to gain on them today. It was like 4 or 5 points. As look at this in the background, Dennis gets up the inside of Drugovic and steals the podium away from the Brazilian.
Would he like to do it at home, or would he like to do it here today in Berlin? That's a stupid answer because I think everyone's going to know when you want to do it. But Dennis is on the attack mode. He's got 45 seconds left, and now Roland slips back to 3rd place, and he's under
No
attack.
point playing that one.
Yeah, it's enough still, but I'm worried about Verline. No, Verline's not going to move.
Verline's P11, so he's right behind Sede Kamara. Sede Kamara's actually got quite a lot of energy that he's saved up as well, so that could be a problem. They're making positions. DaCosta is having to defend from Evans. Both have got 2.5 minutes of attack mode, but they're stuck in the pack. Here comes Vern. Vern has got quite a lot of attack mode. He went in the same time as Cassidy. So yeah, Vern should be easily for on Roland down this straight, but P4 again would still be enough for Roland at the present moment.
Yeah, because Verline now breaks inside the top 10, so we're starting to lose out on points. Vern goes for it round the outside and takes Roland. So Roland now goes to 4th. Drugovic and Barnard have swapped places. Roland stays in 4th. So now it's 4 and 10 on the board. Wow. Mental math.
Yep. Here is the thing. So as it stands, Roland has a 47-point lead in the championship. To win the title today, he needs to lead of 58 or more. We're going to win the title if he can outscore Verline by 11 points. Barnard and DaCosta will need to outscore Roland by 11 and 16 points, respectively, to keep their hopes alive. So yeah, that's not happening right now, because neither of them are ahead for stars.
Yeah. So unless, and Drugovic and Barnard are out of attack mode, Muller's not going to get up, and Verline's dropped back to 13th. So I think it's done.
Yeah, Brian's just got him.
We're going to crown a champion and have to go to Wimbledon. That's so annoying.
Yeah. In fact, Roland could afford to drop down to, I think, about 9th or 10th and still comfortably win the title.
Well,
the way things are at the moment.
It's lap 42 to go here in Berlin. Cassidy runs out of attack mode. Dennis is second, but Cassidy 3 seconds ahead of everybody right now.
Oh, Taylor Barnard up the inside of Drugovic.
Nice move on the inside line. Drugovic going to sweep back, and the two rookies side by side. There's a little touch. Barnard goes wide. Drugovic stays with him. And these two have raced each other before, remember? Let's just see. Calm it down, guys. Because now, look, you've got Muller and Evans right behind you.
Yeah, Muller to the outside then. Drugovic will get the ideal line on the brakes. Small gap for Mitch Evans, but he has to back off there. He's still got the attack mode advantage of this group, though, so he's going to take both of them down the straight then. And there we go, the four-wheel drive coming in very, very handy. Drugovic still there on the inside, but Evans completes the move on both Muller and Felipe Drugovic then. So, yeah, Mitch Evans has only got 20 seconds more. Can he take Barnard and get that 6th position?
Nissan are on course for a championship. They are 1 lap away. Over the line.
Yeah, it's now less about attack mode and more about how much energy they've all got. Evans, and it hits the back of Roland, side by side with Barnard. Oh! more wheel bang between the two. This is very, very physical indeed. And Evans absolutely keeps his foot in and somehow does not hit the wall or Taylor Barnard, and he makes it through.
Barnard's not going to be happy about this one, but now he's going to have a dive bomb coming in as well. Around the outside comes Felipe Jogovic. Late on the brakes is the hairpin. Barnard just gives him enough room as if Barnard will hold the position.
Oh, Degrassi losing out to Mortara behind, I think.
Into the braking zone for 8 and 9. Roland's going full course yellow.
One full course yellow, please. Full course yellow.
Full course yellow.
Jake Hughes in trouble.
Yeah, Maloney stopped. Same Maloney and Vern. What?
Oh dear.
No, it's fine. It's Maloney.
I don't think it's Vern. Vern is still P3. Yeah,
It's
so
Maloney.
yeah, it's definitely Zane Maloney and Frines.
Oh.
I think showing his out on my screen.
Yep, Frines is showing out as mine as well.
Oh, that's going to be an absolutely dejected
Well,
Robin
there's
Frines
Frines in the turn 2 car park.
He said, I don't expect things to go better tomorrow, and so it's proved to be. He's about to go into porta potty there.
One green flag, please.
Oh,
We're racing.
There we go. That was quick. Well, they got rid of those cars quickly. I think they decided to crash on the infield somehow.
Yeah. Last lap then
On a
here
lap.
in Berlin, and it is going to be a world championship for Oliver Rowland. A season which he has absolutely dominated. He's a lap away. He won't even be on the podium, but he will be champion. And we go to London with a celebration, in fact. Go on.
Yeah, still would be the teams and the manufacturers championship up for grabs, where Nissan are going to gain a fair bit on the Porsche teams here. So there we go, 184 to 125 to 112. So Barnard would actually move up to third ahead of Da Costa, which is exactly what you like to see.
I've got to go.
Da Costa not being in the top 3.
So, TNT didn't show it live. ITV didn't show it live. Always count on JBM to give you the British champions. Oliver Rowland will come into the last 2 corners. Credit where credit's due. Nick Cassidy from the back of the grid is going to win again. Jaguar are just superb with their strategy. But the Season 11 World Champion, Oliver Rowland, is the Formula E champion. He's done it. Finally, a season dominated. Every single opportunity taken, every racecraft is done. Rowland is champion.
Wow, there we go. So it really went his way today, but after yesterday, he absolutely needed that, given how disappointing it was for him to be taken out.
Here he is.
World champion. Mate, we're world champion. World champion without ballast. Oh, yeah. Not to say it.
Oliver, this is Tommaso. You are an amazing comeback, the best comeback in the sport, world champion. We have a special message for you.
Daddy, there's a world champion! Yeah! Daddy, there's a world champion! There's a world champion! Yeah! Bye.
Bye. Oh.
Oh, thanks, Fox. Love you. Love you, Lauren. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody.
Gotta open that visor, this kid.
Yeah, thanks. Whole team. Incredible.
Yeah, we did it, man. We did it. Ollie, this is Alan here. You are world champion. You're very emotional. Tell us what it feels.
For sure it hasn't sunk in. Honestly, I didn't expect it today. I mean, Pascal was on fire this morning and all I could think about was having a big dent in the lead. So, yeah, I just can't believe it. I've been here a long time trying. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
You've done it now. Enjoy the podium celebrations. You're #1.
Thank you, mate. Thank you.
I must admit, very few. I was asked a while ago in the commentary box, how often have you ever felt choked up and emotional? That one did it. Hearing his daughter celebrate championship. That got
I much
to me.
prefer that to Will Smith coming on when Lewis wins the championship or something like that. And not just because Will Smith punched Chris Rock in the face at the Oscars. But whereas I don't think Harper Rowland, well, we don't know what Harper Rowland gets up to at school. It's not our place to judge. But yeah, there we go. For all the, for all this talk about, Mr. Beast Feastables and all the Formula E is a joke of a sport, there's like real moments of genuine emotion like that. And that really shows you that Formula E is absolutely genuine motorsport, and for Oliver Rowland, he's now a world champion, and that is absolutely huge for him. But yeah, let's not forget about Nick Cassidy from, what was it, 19th on the grid to victory. I mean, he's going to be feeling, well, the lottery went my way today. But anyway, here you go. He's our new world champion.
Another Brit world champion after Jake Dennis. Here we go again. Oliver Rowland, such an up and down career. And finally, he is a world champion. And Nissan are drivers' champions again. That is spectacular.
I don't think they have been Nissan. They haven't been drivers'
Nissan.
champions since Buemi when they were Renault in season 3, if memories. Oh, no, that was the Grand. It was season 2, sir.
I've got to ask your final
it's been a long
thoughts as we've got to run to Wimbledon. What are your final thoughts on the race?
Well, as much as it would have been nice to have the championship go over to London, you've got to say Oliver Rowland was always going to clinch it sooner or later with the momentum that he had and the lead that he had. It would have taken something extraordinary to beat him. Nissan didn't put a foot wrong today, and neither did Rowland. And yeah, that P4 was all they needed. They didn't do anything silly today, unlike yesterday. And Drugovich there was actually congratulating, which was nice, because obviously he blamed Drugovich like in the cockpit, even though Felipe didn't hit him yesterday. But yeah, he immediately fessed up to it, and that really says it all. Oliver Rowland, despite disappointment yesterday, he went and did his interview, he apologized, he got his head down, and he did the deal today. So yeah, Nissan has still got the championship to fight for, so it's not completely over yet. But yeah, for the drivers, that's a huge moment. And yeah, for Porsche, unfortunately, they got the strategy wrong. For Taylor Barnard, that safety car really hurt him. And yeah, it was Verne, Dennis, and Cassidy that round out the podium ahead. And yeah, for Nick Cassidy, I said early on, watch out for him, and it proved that to be the one to do.
Thanks, Ed. We will be back tomorrow with the Rookies Test, where we will have the interview with the world champion, Jack Giamano, is trackside, and he'll have the interview with him as well. Cassidy is your winner, with Dennis second and Verne third. But it's Oliver Rowland, the Formula E world champion.
Firstly, congratulations. Obviously, you've said a lot already that you didn't expect to be in this position today from how everything was going. Just talk me through the race, talk me through the beginning, because obviously the Porsches were all expecting this massive peloton, and they bolted. They went quite quickly, which proved costly in the end.
Yeah, I mean, it's so tricky in those types of races to know what to do, right? Because you've got guys at the back banking loads of energy. You're at the front. You don't want to get in trouble in the middle. You want to be efficient. It's so hard. It's almost accepting to go backwards to then be there at the end is also high risk. So sometimes there's no real clear strategy when it's like that. But I think for us, like, I knew what I wanted to do, but everybody wanted to be in the position I was in, so I was jockeying the whole time to try and make it. But yeah, I mean, look, we did the best job we could today, and we came out with a great result.
Yeah, talk to me about that middle of the race and your mentality, because obviously there was some moments with like Muller and people around you. It was tight into those turn 6 and those hairpin corners. What was your mentality in that stage? What were you just trying? How did you keep it clean?
Well, I mean, Muller was clearly under instruction from Porsche to keep me behind. So it was like all he cared about was me. But that was fine, because actually he was helping me at some point, because I was able to be really efficient on the outside of him everywhere. But yeah, it was difficult to negotiate what was going on, and I knew I was good on energy compared to the front guys, but there was guys at the back with a lot more, so I knew I could start being a little bit more aggressive with them. I just didn't want to go too early. And then when I decided to bolt, I just thought now's the right time. I can go build a gap, and then whoever consumes me at the end, they will.
Yeah, and obviously talking to me about the feeling, obviously once you crossed that line and you were told that you were the world champion, as you said with Katie, it was a big story from season 2 all the way to now. Like, the relief off your shoulders must have been huge.
Yeah, I was crying my eyes out, and then they put my daughter's radio message on the radio, and I just couldn't stop. I mean, I don't know what I was feeling. To be honest, I think the emotion was more the relief than the achievement. I was feeling a lot of pressure the last few days, and I managed to deal with it well.
It was almost deja vu to last season a little bit. Did it feel the same for you?
Not completely. I mean, last year obviously started P10 and then fell back, and I kind of had to adapt on the fly. Today was structured from lap 1. I was super disciplined in this race. Kind of needed to be, and I use as much experience as I have to try and make the right decisions, and luckily it all worked out.
Did it surprise you just how effective, the strategy you kind of used last season so many times, success that, even now almost a year on from some of those victories, it's still working?
Yeah, I mean, but at the same time it was difficult because I'm sure half the grid had that strategy today. Especially, the race was a similar energy saving percentage. Everyone had last year's race here to look at and understand that was the way to go. So it was kind of the talk of the town this morning that was done last year. And it meant, to do the same thing again. It wasn't going to be easy, but we could adapt in the right way and had really good car speed, which helped.
What's been the switch in the last few weeks? Because this is now obviously Mitch yesterday, you today, yourself now, you're up to 4th in the drivers' standings and actually now in the fight for 2nd, which if I said that to you a couple of months ago, you probably would have, questioned me.
To be honest, I'm proud of my team, but I'm also really proud of myself. I mean, I've been very strong on development and setup, and it means that quite often there are qualifying sessions or races where I go the wrong way and it's a disaster and I look terrible. But when it works, it provides us a direction and it provides thanks, man. It provides a new development route, and that's kind of what's happened. And so, from the last few events, we've had a different car concept, and I feel more comfortable, and I think we've been more competitive.
Obviously, win today, 2 races to go. There's so much change going with the team, obviously, with certain rumours, obviously, with James going as well. Yeah. How proud and how much would you like to, bouncing off this, going in London on a real high?
Oh, completely. But I think we're already doing that. Absolutely, we're already doing that. So, Shanghai, here, fantastic. Even Jakarta, we're very close to being in that fight for that win with Dan. So, yeah, just proud of my guys, and it's been really cool.
Obviously, perfect way to bounce back from yesterday, right? Getting a podium today must have felt sweet after yesterday.
Yeah, it was needed. I think just honestly, even seeing the checkered flag was an improvement to yesterday. So, yeah, well executed race, perfect strategy, and we were ordered with a P2.
Yeah, talk to me about how you're developing the team for next season a little bit. What are you working with the team? Because obviously there's been a bit of struggles. The pace hasn't been there every single time. What have you been working on? What do you think the big thing that you guys have got to work on over the off season and work with Porsche to sort of take that next step?
I think just obviously. We lost some good personnel a couple of years ago, and we're sort of rebuilding all this and working on just trying to deliver consistency. I think honestly in the dry running now we've been there all year. My qualifying average in the dry has been really good. It's just the wet we've struggled a little bit, and most of this year has been wet. But yeah, nevertheless, feeling really confident with the team I've got around me to deliver good results in the dry. But yeah, still some homework to be done with the wet running.
Is it just massive consistency? I know consistency in Formula E, everyone says the same, right? But I know you get unlucky with the way the race pans out. But there's such a short season, races they come quick and fast.
Yeah, it's just all about consistency, but it's so hard. You can do a consistent job, but if you don't bring your A game, you get really penalised with, being on the wrong side of the 10th, and then you lose 4 or 5 positions. And yeah, it is what it is, but we'll focus on go on the next one.
Massively unfortunate. It looked like it was going to be the perfect weekend almost. Was it just the 2-minute attack mode at the start that just really killed your race?
Yeah, for sure. The 2 minutes attack mode didn't help, and yeah, honestly, we are still analyzing what went wrong, because something went completely wrong. Starting first and finishing P16 is insane. So yeah, very disappointing day, which looked like a promising day after this morning. No pace, maybe wrong call on strategy, but for sure not satisfying.
Ollie was saying in the press conference that when your first attack mode ended, it just seemed like he thought you had a problem, the way your car just seemed to drop back the field so quickly. Did it surprise you how quickly you just seemed to get swamped after that first attack mode?
I had the same feeling, but I have that feeling quite often because a similar thing happened in Shanghai. where we are just at the front and then we have no pace. Like the car is eating up tires and get a lot of pickup and graining on the tires, and yeah, probably then attack mode of 2 minutes doesn't help if everyone behind is on a different strategy and you're still in a moment of the race where you have to save energy. Yeah, and then in the end we're just too far back to make it back to the front. Yeah, I can only congratulate Ollie and his team. I think yeah, for sure they deserve it and they did better than us. And we need to understand how to be more consistently at the front and not lose such big opportunities with poor races.
After obviously qualifying and you got the gap down to 47, was there a little bit of feeling suddenly that maybe the title could be on after all?
I'm not disappointed about the title being decided now, because I was not thinking about it anyways. I'm more disappointed about the day, like the result of the day, because it should never happen if you're dominating in qualifying, that you just have no pace and dropping out of the points and almost being last. I mean, there's no positive about this race.
I suppose unlucky today. The safety car, I assume, ruined your race, because obviously with the attack mode you were bolting at that point, you looked comfortable and it just went away. Wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah, I think it was an element of luck in this race which compromised our result a little bit, but I think the team have done a great job to give me the position, the car, the strategy and everything to be in that position to be able to win the race. If I look at the weekend and this race globally, I've definitely gained some points over my championship competitors at the moment, so I think looking forward to London, that's obviously what I wanted to do. I'm a little bit closer to be able to score a podium finish in the championship in my first year, which is my current target. But yeah, let's see how London goes.
Yeah, do you think London, could be a place? It's one of those unique tracks where anything could happen again, and being at the front, if the Nissan powertrain's quite good, it could be home win. That's what I'm hinting at.
Yeah, I mean, I hope to get a win this season, but if not, then obviously my aim is to try and score the podium in the championship, and I hope that that's able to come, especially at home.
And then obviously I have to ask, McLaren's commitment to Formula E comes to the end of this season. Are you confident you'll find your way back onto this grid some way, shape or form next season?
My focus at the moment is to obviously perform the best that I possibly can. I think I've done that today, so hopefully that increases my chances. But yeah, let's see. If I can score well in the championship, then let's see.
Well, obviously today it was a bit of a right mess, but you ended up in P8. And how did you feel about it?
Yeah, not much to say. A very chaotic race. Lots happening. I think we did a very good job, but the puncture obviously put us right at the back when we spent all the race trying to stay at the front and not going for the other extreme strategy with saving at the beginning, and to still make our way on our own merit, let's say, into the points or into the top 10 was very positive. So yeah, lots of chaos and probably not enough compensation in terms of point scoring for that this weekend.
Well, what do you think of the strategy overall? Do you think it could have been slightly different, or is there anything that you'd probably wish would have changed?
I mean, it can be very different. I mean, the race talks for itself, right? There's so many extreme strategies being played, and the results in the end are not so different depending on which one you manage to execute most in the situation you are in. I think we did a decent job from where we started, from the package we had. I'm not too unhappy, honestly. So, yeah, for sure, you can always, in hindsight, say, here and there we should have maybe slightly optimized. But as a whole, I'm happy it's okay with what we did.
I'm guessing it could have been so much worse after what you got involved in. But now, going to the season finale, have you set a target for yourself?
No, I'm just going to London and I try to maximize what we have there, score more points, do a good job for the team, and that's all I can do.
Obviously, perfect way to bounce back from yesterday, right? Getting a podium today must have felt sweet after yesterday.
Yeah, it was needed. I think just honestly, even seeing the checkered flag was an improvement to yesterday. So, yeah, well executed race, perfect strategy, and yeah, we were awarded with a P2.
Yeah, talk to me about how you're developing the team for next season a little bit. What are you working with the team? Because obviously there's been a bit of struggles. The pace hasn't been there every single time. What have you been working on? What do you think the big thing that you guys have got to work on over the off season and work with Porsche to sort of take that next step?
I think just obviously we lost some good personnel a couple of years ago, and we're sort of rebuilding all this and working on just trying to deliver consistency. I think honestly in the dry running now we've been there all year. My qualifying average in the dry has been really good. It's just the wet we've struggled a little bit, and most of this year has been wet. But yeah, nevertheless, feeling really confident with the team I've got around me to deliver good results in the dry. But yeah, still some homework to be done with the wet running.
Is it just like massive like consistency? I know consistency in Formula E, everyone says the same, right? But I know you get unlucky with the way the race pans out, but there's such a short season, like races, they come quick and fast.
Yeah, it's just all about consistency, but it's so hard. Like, you can do a consistent job, but if you don't bring your A game, you get really penalised with, being on the wrong side of the 10th, and then you lose 4 or 5 positions. And yeah, it is what it is, but we'll focus on go on the next one.
All right, Felipe, first of all, congratulations on your first points in Formula E, and what do you think of it? How do you feel after the race?
Yeah, it's good. I feel good. Something that reward us after a tough weekend until now, and I think that was a good performance by me, and finally some smooth racing and with no issues on the car or anything. So that was good, and very thankful for the team to holding up with me, and that was nice.
And also in the race, did you feel like some sort of pressure? Because that was just impressive, and getting in the championship, finishing positions, and what do you think overall?
Yeah, it was quite chaotic race as always here, and then as we expected as well, which is very different to anything I've ever done, and then also difficult to read the race at the beginning as a rookie. But no, I think I did pretty well there, and enjoyed it.
And also the race was pretty timid with the whole energy saving kind of situation going on, and everyone kind of having a go with each other. So were you stressing about that?
Not really. I think it was something that we planned and we knew that was going to happen. And I think it's just, the thing I was more stressed about, or a bit stressed, was just, understanding what's going on. I think it's sometimes you feel like you're saving more, but you're not. Sometimes it's just trying to understand the race.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So I was just thinking that you were looking pretty comfortable in the beginning of the race, and you were obviously pushing for it, going for it, and so close to at least scoring somewhat a higher position.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Do you think it's a strategy that kind of put you there?
Yeah, so we work quite closely with Porsche because obviously we have the same powertrain, so we work quite closely with them, and we just completely mispredicted the race today. So we were sort of strategy-wise, we were in line with what the other 2 cars wanted to do, Da Costa and Wehrlein, and we just completely misjudged how the energy of the race would pan out, and just misjudged it and got it wrong.
Right, but also I'm pretty sure that you've done a lot, you've done really well these past few races recently. So though today was really unlucky, going to London the season finale, have you set a target for yourself of what you're gonna?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to be P5 in the championship. That's going to be tough now, but try and score 100 points. I'm on 82. It's possible, but I need a big weekend in London. Yeah.
And also looking at the championship view, is there some sort of pressure that kind of?
No, I'm not under any pressure for the championship. We started off so slow this year that the championship battle was sort of more or less done 5 or 6 rounds into the year, unfortunately. So, yeah, I mean, if we scored some more points early on, we would have had a pretty strong year. I mean, top 3 would have been possible, I think. The car is good enough now, I think, for definitely top 5 in the championship, but we just struggled a bit at the beginning of the season. So.
And last one, I think, what do you think of the Bad Boy label that has been given to you?
I don't care what anyone thinks about me.
Right, awesome.
Don't care.
Thank you so much.
Well, he doesn't seem to care about the bad boy labelled as Dan Ticktum, but Oliver Rowland is the world champion of Formula E going into the final 2 races in London. Here, though, for the rookies test in Berlin, we're into the last 5 minutes of the day, and joining me now alongside in the commentary box as well is our expert in junior Formula. It's Omi as well. Hello, mate, and we're getting set. You must be in your element right now, seeing in a world championship test so many of the drivers you've covered.
Yeah, it's quite weird looking down at this entire list. Some current, some of the past as well, but it's great to see them all reignited in this session as well. And on what's been a special weekend for Formula E, great to hold it straight after that on a Monday.
Yeah, they're still buzzing a little bit. I think Ollie Rowland is still partying somewhere. I think he also, I think he's back with his daughter now as well, and his lovely partner. Let's talk about the obvious. Gabriel Mini, fastest on a 57.428. Fastest this morning, faster now. We've said it before in our Formula 3 and Formula 2 coverage. He's got something, hasn't he? No matter what category of car he's in, he is still so fast.
Yeah, he's got that raw ability, and coming into this F2 season, it was Alex Jakes' prediction to win the title. And while the car's not going quite well at the moment, that Prema car in F2, he's come out here and he's basically just shown his talent, which is exactly what Taylor Barnard did as well, when he actually came into the championship and filled in last year for a round, and then of course now full-time this year. So yeah, sometimes it may not work out in Formula 2, but it can go completely the opposite way in Formula E, and that's exactly what Mini's doing, to be at the top earlier on and then to be at the top still. Really great stuff from him.
Speaking of someone who's been a Formula 2 champion and has now sort of been banished to the back roads, we've got Théo Pourchaire starting in 10th place at the moment, back in the pit lane now, but I think we've said it before on our phone commentary as well, he's got the test drives on a Friday practice, but there's no real place for him in Formula 1 anymore at the moment. And that isn't another annoyance like Felipe Drugovich. Is Pourchaire an option as well to come in full-time for Formula E?
Yep, well, rejected in Formula 1, wasn't even given a chance, and then rejected in IndyCar as well.
Yeah.
After a couple of rounds after doing a brilliant performance. So let's hope that's not the case here. And yeah, I'm hoping that he can. And this is the opportunity that absolutely every single driver has in this test, to be able to basically just get themselves impressed and then get themselves a drive for the following season. So I think that's what everyone will be aiming for, and I think that's the only thing that they can do, because so many of these drivers are so talented, but a lot, even we've got Formula 3 drivers, even we've got Formula 4 drivers in here, in terms of Waze, who I was covering 2 days ago in Italian F4. So he's had a quick flight over here. And yeah, I think looking at the list, we've covered absolutely every single driver on JB Motorsports.
Yeah.
Whether it was F3 2022 or even, we haven't covered Guven as much. He was in the Super Cup, but we didn't cover it back then when he was. But however, we were able to cover him earlier this year in IMSA. So we have covered absolutely everyone.
And I think it's sort of hard to describe some of them as rookies as well, with the talent that they've had. But one rookie that I don't think should be classed and I don't think should even be here, Danny Kvyat. He's in the DS Penske. He's alongside Nikita Bedrin. Why is Danny here? I mean, he said, why not, to be fair, in an interview yesterday. You can check out on the Formula E Zone as well. But why is Danny here? He's the eldest driver in the grid. And I don't know. It's just a bit bizarre in my book, as the only one out there at the moment is Barter, as the flag's out in 35 seconds. But what's he got left to prove? I mean, Formula E, maybe a long time ago, was the home of Formula 1. Not rejects, but people who've finished their careers there. And he's just sort of lingering around, isn't he, at the front?
Yeah, I was looking at this entire list and then I was like, okay, what is he doing here? Yeah, definitely not something that anyone, I think, was expecting, but I think he describes it perfectly. Why not? But that is quite interesting as well. That he is here, which he'll definitely try to take some things from it, but I would just expect him to finish up his career. I mean, when you've got drivers like Waze as well, who I mentioned, so young in the F4 level, and then you've got someone who's absolutely finished up F1. It's quite an age gap, let's just say.
Right, I'm going to let you do what you do best because you know all of these drivers inside out. Give us your own rundown. I know you wanted to about what each of the drivers are going to be looking for, and just give us a little bit on them as the checkered flags come out.
Yeah, the checkered flag comes out at the moment. Gabriele Mini, as we mentioned, already competing in Formula 2 this year with Prema. Having a bit of a disappointing season, but he'll try to turn it around. It's going quite positive, I have to say, for his teammate Montoya at the moment. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Mini gets on. Guven is, of course, in IMSA, which you would have also been able to watch yesterday as well, our coverage of that one. So yeah, Guven's participating in that, and he's just trying to get some connections when it comes to Porsche, Penske as well, and everything that goes with it. So there's so many different places where he's trying to, and he's, of course, as we mentioned, been in Porsche Super Cup before. Kushmani, of course, a driver who's also won in the Formula 2 level, and he was also a winner this year in Formula 2 as well. And he's in third, of course, has that connection, being an Indian driver as well, being able to get the connection with Mahindra Racing, and he'll be hoping to try continue that on with the sponsorship. There, Callum Boyson in Formula 3. He is someone who's with Rodin Motorsports, second-year driver. Looked to try fight for the title this year, but we've had Solov and Kamara who've taken that over. So maybe not as good when it comes to Boyson's season this year, but his goal will definitely be to be promoted to Formula 2, where Alex Dunn is fighting for the championship, and he's currently 5th on the board as well. But he's been one of those inconsistent drivers, but he went into a Formula 1, he got an opportunity to do an FP1 there, and Alex Dunn showed his pace. So he's a driver with raw pace, but can't always keep it clean, and sometimes just needs to have better decision-making. Crawford is the driver in 6th, and he is a driver who's, I'd say, very consistent, very fast, but sometimes can have those moments where he isn't always able to reach that peak level, but I think he's had a decent session, to be fair, to be in P6. Hugh Barter, Formula 3 driver from a few years ago in 2022. I think he's not been as much in the scene as he would have wanted, but this is a great opportunity for himself to get up there, and it's quite good to see him high up there as well in 7th. Vesti, runner-up in Formula 2 2023, is in 8th. GSD is a Williams Academy junior who has the partnership in Formula 1, but is driving in Formula 3 this year. It's been an okay season for him. Teo Porcher, we've already mentioned, he's in 10th, a Formula 2 champion of the past. We already talked about Kvyat as well. He's in 11th. Bedrin, he participated in the opening round of Formula 3 this year. He was in Formula 3 last year as well, but he's done some running in Freca instead. So he's basically taken a step backwards. So once again, he's just trying to forge a path through to a world championship, while Formula 1 might not be there. Same applies to Fornaroli, who's the reigning Formula 3 champion, and after 1,000 and nearly 500 days, he finally won a race in any championship with a Formula 2 win a few weeks ago at Silverstone. So it will be interesting to see how he gets on, and possibly this could be a path for him if Formula 1 doesn't open up. Arthur Leclerc was attempting to get to Formula 1 as well with his road with Formula 3 and Formula 2. Once again, no real opportunity, just a few issues when it comes to consistency, which is why he couldn't fight for those titles, and it means that he's also chasing another path, which Formula E could be a good option. Beganovic is a Ferrari junior. We saw him in the Ferrari car in Formula 1 in a practice as well, and he's going to be once again assessing, but there's so many different drivers that Ferrari could have lined up, and it's very unlikely at the moment that rookies are going to be one of them, unfortunately. So he'll definitely be considering every other possibility, and his Formula 2 season isn't going the best. Zach O'Sullivan left ART in Formula 2 last year very, very early on in the season, so he wasn't able to complete that. So he's had to give up that single-seater route at the moment, so he's now looking at Formula E as a possibility. So rather than the road to F1, he's trying to see whether this could be an option for him. And if he is able to show envision some good pace, then it definitely could be. Abby Pullen. Now, we've been watching her in GB3 this year. She's the F1 Academy champion from last year. Great to see her getting some running in as well, along with Ella Lloyd, who's been across so many different series, whether it's British F4 or F1 Academy as well. Pulling demonstrating some brilliant pace. It was actually discovered in GB3 that she had actually some damage that she'd been carrying all season. So Alice Powell was reporting on that, and it means that pulling, there's more to come from her, and I think she'll be fighting for wins on the evidence of the start of the season in GB3. So keep an eye on her there. She entered this session in 17th, Lloyd in 18th. Chadwick, we'll know her from being a champion of W Series as well, completely dominated that in 2022, and then it ended early and she got the championship. But she's another driver who's been assessing the IndyCar route, and she's also come here for a nice opportunity as well. So it's been interesting to see what she's been able to do. Ways we mentioned, youngest driver in the field, was literally 2 days ago racing at Mugello in Italian F4. Had to miss yesterday's race to come over here. So he ended in 20th. Still a lot to come from him. He's quite low, but at the same time, he is the youngest by a mile. He's in Formula 4 level. So there's still a lot to come, still a lot of development. Jonathan Hoggard, we watched him in Formula 3 a few years ago. He's another driver who's not been around as much in the main category. So he's looking to now find himself getting a bit of an opportunity and trying to impress and see whether this is a good road possibly for him to finish out his career, or maybe is it to now focus on other aspects. And Bianca Bustamante, well, she's been in F1 Academy, she's been across so many different single-seater series, and well, she has been struggling a little bit, I think it's fair to say, in those. So it's another driver just looking to get some experience and see where it takes us. I think that applies, though, JB, to quite a lot of drivers.
It does, and I think this has been a successful show, and I think, if anything, Gabrielle Mini needs to be given a seat ASAP in either Formula 1 or Formula E for a year, because these times, fantastic at the top by 2/10 as well to govern, as you said. I'm actually quite happy with how today's turned out, if I'm honest. I think all of them have been in roughly the same time. There's not a second between them. I'm trying to see what the actual gap is between the entire field. Unfortunately, on my monitor, it's not telling me. I think it's only like 1.4 off the top. That's insanely good for a rookies test as well. And I think they should all be very, very proud of themselves. That is a super effort from everyone out there.
Yeah, you've got so many different skill sets, as we mentioned in this. You have to remember that. You've got so many different drivers, some who've taken the Porsche Super Cup route and basically those type of races, along with IMSA. Then you've got some who are coming from the single-seaters, some who've had a few years away from single-seaters. So yeah, to all have them in basically one circuit and for them to all be close, it's just remarkable.
By the way, Bianca Bustamante has not stopped out on the circuit. I believe she's been chosen for the red car test. So it'll be an emergency situation that the marshals get trained with as well. So don't be too alarmed on that. Omi, thank you very much for taking us through the field and giving us their backstories as well. I'm so delighted that the session coincided with you being able to get on the last few minutes as well. I know I desperately wanted to be on here today to explain exactly how important all these new rookie drivers are, and Danny Kvyat. But we will be back for Formula E in 2 weeks' time when we go racing for the final weekend in London at the Excel Centre. You can join us for that here live on Formula E Zone and JB Motorsports. Thank you, Omi. Go and have a great rest of your night, and to all of you at home as well. Be sure to check in with the FE Bar. That's going to get underway later on today, so you can join us there for all of the action. That's at 8 o'clock British summertime. The two Jacks will be taking you through all of the action, and you will be able to dial in, get on the Discord, get on the phone, and give us your thoughts on our new world champion, the rookies test, and anything that you needed to talk about after the Berlin weekend. So that's the FE Bar on the Formula E Zone channel tonight. You can join the Discord with the link below, and you can get in and talk to the two Jacks live on air. So make sure to call in for that. My thanks to Omi. My thanks to all of you at home. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.